3 minutes of playtime. Hey, everybody, this is Podcastforwe, a podcast for us, as well as a podcast for you fucks. We're doing our end of the year podcast where me, Kevin, your host, and also Eber, your other host, we're just talking about the top 10 fucking things that we've seen for 2020, the shit year that it is.
Well, I had 9.
You did not just put 9. Just fucking add something. That's all you have to do. You can't have 9.
I swear I poured over this fucking thing.
You put a Queen's Gambit in there or something like that. That's all you have to do.
It's in there.
Shit, that's sad, dude. You can't just do 9. You got to do 10. Fucking put something in there. How about Justice League Dark Apocalypse? You watch that? You did.
Oh, that came out this year, huh?
Put that 10. There, done. Just fucking do it. Just so we can match up, because it'd be stupid. Check it. I want to do something real quick. So on this podcast, we're going to talk about what we've seen. That's either movies or TV shows. And next year we'll do games too. We'll fucking add that in there. And then we'll call it the top 10 engagements. You know, like what got us engaged.
Yeah.
And then this time, I think that both games, videos, and shows, I have a book just set aside, and I'll do the average out, so we can go back to what we thought was good. So when you say a top 10, I'm like, why is it top 10 when you rated this fucking thing higher? Just saying.
No shit.
Well, anyways, let me talk about real quick before I go to our top 10 last week. So I figured out why I couldn't get my averages down. My phone does this weird thing where it doesn't do numbers right. So I add, and when I go to divide, it reverses it. So like the number comes, it doesn't refer it, like, so basically you should get 50. That's your average. If you're perfect, it goes opposite. So it goes into some weird fucking number. Instead of doing 50 divided by 5, it will do 5 divided by 50. And that I was like, and as I'm talking to you and trying to get it done in real time, I'm like, why is it? And these aren't like even numbers, you know what I mean? Like I'm doing 9.5, 9.6. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And I'm trying to figure it out as we're talking. So I did the math with an actual calculator, not my phone calculator. But that now I know that the problem is I could just adjust it on the fly with my phone, but I didn't know it was doing that. So I'm an idiot.
What I could make for us is a little Excel spreadsheet that you would have in the corner of your screen, and then
that's cool. But I got a template now.
Oh, there you go.
I got a book. It's fucking hardcore.
Well, in Excel, you would just type in the numbers and it would spit it out.
That's true. But I got a book.
Okay.
It's hardcore. I'm doing a book. Jesus Christ. Anyways, all right. So for Mandalorian, out of all your numbers, it all evened out to 8. You gave Mando season 2 an 8, a solid 8. I thought that was pretty good. But then I looked at my score, and what brought it down lower than yours was, even though I gave it 10s, is the score. I rated the score to the sound and all that down to a 6, and that brought everything down to 7.9. So you rated Mandalorian season 2 higher than I did.
By a 10th of a point?
Yeah. Well,
so we're pretty good then. You said 7.9.
Yeah. I know, but like, I mean, fuck, I mean, shit.
I
thought it'd be higher. I was like, fuck, man, the score really brought it down, like a lot by 0.1. But I mean, it did hit that 8.
I think 8's a good solid number.
For Mandalorian season 2.
Yeah.
Man,
now season 1, I'd be surprised if we rated season 1 the same or lower.
It would be lower because we're not watching it again. It's that rewatch. That's everything.
I've watched it. I think I've watched it like 3 or 4 times now.
Of course. I watched it the one time, then I watched it again. That was it. The only time I'll probably watch it again, maybe, is next year. Well, maybe the year after, if they come out with season 3 and I had time to let it rest, and then I'll watch all of them in one go. I think that's what I'll do.
What was the other thing you rated?
It was Tenet.
How did that one come out?
So that came out you rated it at 6.8.
Okay.
That was solid. And I gave it a 3.4.
I think that's good because The Mandalorian kind of hit me at all the different categories.
Of course.
Tenet was a lot narrower.
Oh, yeah.
The pleasure centers that it hit.
Funny you should say that. Yeah, it is narrow because, so it's funny. It's like we're rehashing last cast. So you're giving Mandalorian 8s and 9s on pretty much everything, right? And Tenet, you are hitting like 9 at one thing and then lower numbers on others. So it's like that makes kind of sense. I hit it at 3.4 because I rated a lot of things lower.
Yeah, it's like an RPG. What armor do you want? Do you want one that only does one thing really good? That has one stat really
Or
high, or
covers
do you
all
want
around.
Yeah.
But okay, but there is something I want you to do for this podcast. It'll be great. So,
Okay.
all right. So get up.
Oh.
Happy New Year. So check it out. Can you get a piece of paper? Okay.
You said a piece.
Like, well, come on, words.
Like how big?
All right. Like this. So when you could post it like that.
Okay, I can.
So you can see so you know what I mean? All right. And then you got to fold it. That's important.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
So you can fold it. That's important.
We do this origami shit.
Yeah, I know. It'll be fun. Don't worry. It's good. It's good. Now, without showing the camera or the people, I want you to fold the paper, and on the front, I want you to guess what movie or show that I put at number 1.
Oh, okay.
Just put that there. I'm going to put yours.
Ouch.
Don't show it.
Wait. I'm trying to remember. Fuck. Okay, got it.
Oh my God. You don't have the list with you? I mean, shit, this kind of works if you have the list with you.
No, I have my list with me, but...
Okay.
You're
guessing mine. You're guessing mine.
I'm guessing yours, yeah.
Oh, shit, I forgot that part. I was just on you right now.
No, but
I'm
guessing this based on our conversations.
Okay, so number 1 is written on the front, and inside, I want you to, in one word, describe why you think I like that movie. I've been playing a lot of chess, so I've angled this way. It could be hyphenated.
I just put one word.
Okay, that works. Well, it's because I kind of ran out of room as I was writing it because I'm stupid. All right.
We can still be friends afterwards, though, right?
Yeah, of course. It'll be fun later on. Don't worry. This will be a funny thing to say. All right, cool. Let's do this. Without further ado, our top 10 picks of shit that we seen of 2020. Now, granted, 2020 was a shitty year. There wasn't much shit going out. This is legit because I went back. What I did was I looked at every month of shit that came out. Both movies, and I watch a lot of shit. Both movies, TV shows, and anime. I watch a religious amount of anime, so it's fucking ridiculous. So, no, I don't. Maybe I say that.
I did a whole lot of anime in this year.
Well, I went back to every single month to see what the fuck anime came out. It's not looking good. And I don't think anime made the list. All right, from number 10 up, that's what we're going to do. So, my number 10 movie was Fat Man.
I didn't watch that one.
I know you didn't. So, Fat Man is a movie about Mel Gibson being Santa Claus, and some kid who's rich gets so pissed off that sends an assassin after him. It's fucking good. I noticed that in 2020, I watched a lot of indie movies, and this is one of them. And it's a great movie. I strongly recommend it. Of my top 10, number 10, watch Fat Man. Trust me, Mel Gibson can't go wrong.
All right.
And of course, I know what your number 10 is.
No, keep going, because mine's kind of like a hodgepodge. I know what my number 1 is, and everything else is kind of just random.
No. You got to go number 10. We're going 10 for 10. We got to go 1 on 1.
All right, so my number 10 would be that Justice League Dark Apocalypse movie. Then
it was pretty fucking good, right?
It was pretty good.
They reset the whole universe and everything.
Yeah, the animation was good. The story, kind of had some.
It got to where it needed to go.
Yeah. And in the end, it wasn't all just about Superman, but there was other characters in there too.
I like that too, because like usually Superman reigns supreme, or Batman. They kind of reign supreme within these shows, but they really made all these other characters shine, like Constantine. Like, who gives a fuck, right?
Yeah, I did not regret the purchase, so I bought it. But and I'm a huge Superman fan. I did not regret, but I was kind of
Man of Tomorrow.
No, Man of Tomorrow was good too.
Wasn't
But
it?
but I would put Dark Apocalypse above it.
Yeah, me too. I liked Man of Tomorrow. It was a really good movie, and Red Sun. I liked Red Sun quite a bit, but I did like Dark. I don't know. I just liked it more. It really because I actually followed that universe, even though I begrudgingly hated a lot of the movies. It was pretty good that they tied up quite a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
And there was a lot of good moments between Wonder Woman and Robin and fucking Nighthawk or Night fucking
And they
Wing,
seemed to
Nightwing.
fit in character for what that universe had been building.
Yeah,
And
exactly. And it
not
tied it
anybody
up.
really did anything that was out of character, and there was some callbacks, and it was good.
Oh, and it wasn't woke either. It wasn't. There's no woke bullshit. I mean, like Wonder Woman started, but that's cool. You can accept it because it's Wonder Woman.
That was good.
So, all right. Number 9, I picked Soul.
Oh, you put that down, huh? But
Yeah,
you watch
yeah.
a lot of shit though.
Yes, I do. And it's true. And what I did was I put a list of all the shit that I watched that I liked. And what I did was I go, do I like this more than this? Do I like this? And I just kept doing that. That's how I came up with my list. It took me a while, but I didn't have patience for like 3 hours. So I had 3 hours to do this. So yeah, Soul I fucking loved. It was good. It was a movie about like life and what you think you want. But like what I also liked, and I thought this is the theme of the year, is subvert. It subverted my expectations. I really thought it was a story. It was going to be a story about a guy thinking he wanted to be famous, but in reality he needs to be a teacher. But it wasn't.
I thought they were going in that direction too, and I'm sure we'll dig into it more later. But Soul, I do have it on this list. No, we're gonna have to talk about it during the other thing though, because
Okay.
of what you said. But no, it's
All
all
right.
good.
All right. What do you got for 9?
That Filthy Rich documentary about Epstein, dude.
I've seen that, and yeah.
I think you're the one that told me about it.
Yeah, I watch it.
And I had seen it on there, and damn, I mean, I think it was just worth watching, and because it was a lot of it from the victim's point of view, and I don't
Yeah.
think you'd seen that much
Mhm.
going into it. You'd heard stories about like who he was affiliated with and all this, but this really put a more relatable level. I wouldn't want anybody that I care about to be in any of those situations, and really to
But he
give you like
would
a
get them
ground
though.
look at this shit, looking up at these motherfuckers doing this shit.
Yeah, but it was clever how he would get people. He would get the chick, and then he would get them to massage him for like a lot of money, and then he would move. He would basically groom them, and it was a pretty clever
Yeah, it was
move. And he
good.
used a woman to do it with him, so that was pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
You know what's weird about that though? I didn't like it because it only showed his devious ways, and I was like, as I'm watching, I'm disgusted by this guy, right? And I'm like, I really do feel like there's more to this than like just there's a reason why he's such a big deal. And it wasn't because he was raping kids. I mean, believe it or not, that happens quite a bit. There ain't no documentary about them. The only reason why he gets a documentary is why? Why is it? It's not because he's rich and raping. It's because he's connected to people.
Yeah.
And so they made a documentary about just him and his devious ways, putting it just an eye on him. And I was like, that's cool, but what makes him famous? What makes him famous than all other fucking rapists that are rich? Because it happens all the time.
Well,
It's because he's connected.
I think that that would have spilled out if we had had, a trial and all that.
Maybe, 2020, the year of suicide murders.
Yeah.
You're right. It would have been a thing. I don't know, man. I just think if you were going to do a documentary, it's like, let's do a documentary about Vader, but let's only talk about his son. Like, wait, what about Vader? All
There's
the
a
shit
lot
he
of
did.
other context.
Yeah. Yeah. What about all this other shit? No, let's talk about his son. Right. Wait, what? You said Vader. Anyways, I kind of reversed that. That's good. All right. My number 8, Bill and Ted's Face the Music.
I didn't watch that.
You did?
Thought it was
I
good?
liked it a lot.
Yeah, he did.
I expected it to be shitty. Because, like, if you watch the first 2, they're pretty terrible. But in the eye of the window of time, I guess they were good. Whatever. So you watch this one, right? And you don't even have to watch the other two. They kind of recap it. And what I like about this one is it subverts my expectations. And I even saw the twist at the end where it was like you're gonna make it the daughters, but it really did make it a thing where it was everybody working together. And it made sense, like that would be the song to save the world. Because in the first two movies,
I didn't
Bill and
watch it.
Ted, oh well, Bill and Ted's I'm not gonna spoil it, but Bill and Ted, their whole thing is they make one song that unites the world and makes this utopian society. In this movie, they make sense of that, and it works. In the first two movies, it's kind of like, oh yeah, they just play really good music, and everyone's like blown away by it. But that's not why. And you watch this movie, and they make it work. And there's there's all this other shit that happens, and there's a lot of real poignant moments with characters that are developing that have already been developed. They're very dumb people, and it doesn't make sense that they save the world. And like you figure maybe they got smarter, right? No, they're just as dumb. In fact, the future versions of them are dumb. But through that, they're able to do something that really is poignant, and it works in the movie. And I thought the writing was really good for what they had. I mean, it's like I took shit and I made it into a fucking sandwich, and it was tasty.
Probably still not healthy for you though.
Now, probably not healthy. Yes, you're right. Bill and Ted, there's a million things you could have watched. But I mean, of my top 10 of this year, I basically picked movies that made me feel something, and that made me felt something. You know, between Soul and Fat Man. Whew. Go for it. What's your 8?
The Old Guard.
I knew you'd pick that one. Not for 8, but I knew you would put that in your list. It was in my list too, but I took it out.
Yeah, well, I guess I didn't watch that much this year, but
I liked Old Guard.
Old Guard was it was a pleasant surprise. Like I knew I wanted to see it from the trailer, and then as I was watching it, I was like, I'm about this. This is good.
Yeah.
This is working for me.
It was good. We reviewed it too.
Yeah, we did.
I have no idea what it was, and I can't find it. I have 3 books, and I don't know what note I put it on. I didn't want to look. Next time I'll be more tidy. I have 1 book devoted to reviews. But yeah, Old Guard was good. Old Guard was good. I liked it a lot.
What's your 7?
All right, number 7, Raised by Wolves.
You know what? I saw that in my list of things that that came out this year, but because I went to look at stuff, in case I'd forgotten anything. I haven't seen that.
That is a fantastic show. The ending was kind of stupid, but it was really good. And it's good because in each episode, I couldn't wait for the next episode. And that's what I liked it more than the other things. Every fucking episode was a delight. The characters were awesome. They all worked the way they were supposed to. There is some kind of bad writing, but you could kind of write that off because it kind of works itself out towards the end. And the special effects were amazing. If you like special effects, you would have loved this. Really, Scott's in it. Come on, man. He's not in it, but
he worked on it.
What?
He worked on it?
Oh, fuck yeah. That's his baby. When you watch it, you can kind of tell there's a lot of alien stuff. And the way they show things, I was like, man, the artistry of this, if anything, that's my Dunkirk.
Is it scary?
It looks good too.
Is it scary? Really good. Is it like a horror show or something? Or?
There's some horror in it, but it's not a scary show. That's not what it's designed for. It's more of a brain plexer. But I mean, it's very, I wouldn't say superficial. These characters are deep. They're real. It works. And it's woke without trying too hard. It shows you something. I'm not like, Arr.
Well, my number 7, I put Soul at number 7.
Oh, nice. I like it.
They left an impression on me.
Soul is better than all the movies you just mentioned so far, or shows. Soul's good. In fact, it's number 1 material, but it's too soon. I'm not watching it again. Maybe.
For me, it's like Inside Out. I probably won't watch it again for about 6 months, but I'll still enjoy the shit out of it.
Inside Out. That's who made it.
Yeah, that's Pixar.
Yeah,
Doctor. Yeah, no, the same director.
Yeah. He made that, and they made Up.
Yeah.
Wall-E.
I think he did Monsters Inc. also.
Yeah, whatever. I'm just naming the shit that I liked a lot. He did Monster Inc. You know what? No. It's because I think of Monster University.
Oh, yeah, no.
Monsters Inc. is fucking
yeah.
fantastic. At the very end, when you hear her say like the monster's name,
Yeah.
not Sully, but like
Uh,
her cute name
her,
for it.
yeah.
I thought,
And then it fades out. You're like, ah.
oh yeah, it melts your heart. It's really good. All right, let's see, 6, The Invisible Man.
I didn't watch that one.
I know you did, but I have to say, I watched a lot of shit this year. Let's just say, Invisible Man. That's a good horror movie. It's a horror movie with a twist, with a scientific twist. I mean, there's a couple times where I was kind of like, why can this happen? But other than that, I was like, it shocked me, genuinely shocked me. I'd probably watch it again. And that's a horror movie. I rate those so low, and I really enjoyed it. It was really well done, and it was woke, and it was okay.
I
Once
remember when it
again,
was coming
more
out,
woke
people were
shit.
making comparisons to Hollow Man, the Kevin Bacon one.
Not even close. Not even close.
Well, not comparisons like in quality, but they were just like comparing the story. But I mean,
No.
is there a comparison there?
Hell fuck no. This is about abuse and liberation.
Oh shit.
It's good. It's good. It's real fucking scary shit. And then when shit happens, you're shocked. You're like, I can't believe that happened. You know? And it's really scary. So it's really good. I give that number 6. I mean, fuck.
My number 6 was Tenet.
Oof. Mm.
Did I ruin your number 1 thing?
No.
Oh, good. Yeah, my number 6 was Tenet. I had to put it on this list. I saw it in the theaters. I bought it.
Why not number 1? No, I'm kidding.
I've watched it twice, and I still, I still enjoy it, and I still think about it. And I thought about it a lot, but not in like a life-changing way. It was really more of like a puzzle to put together.
I think if you watch Primer, you wouldn't even look at this movie.
Yeah, you keep talking about Primer.
Dude, you need to watch
Put that on my...
Give you a fucking homework list of shit to watch, dude. Home Primers. There's so much shit out there that's so good you've never seen. Like, it's good in a way you never. It's like, I don't know, man. It's like sitting on your hand and masturbating afterwards. It's like a stranger. You didn't even see that shit coming. I can't believe this is happening. All right, so let's see here. Number 5. I put Dr. Sleep at number 5. Is
that the one with Ian McGregor?
Yeah, sequel to The Shining.
Oh, okay. You liked it?
Okay. 1, The Shining was terrible. And Dr. Sleep is fucking fantastic. It took something that was terrible, which now people don't really think it's terrible, but it took something I thought was terrible, made it really good. I mean, it was fucking terrifying. I genuinely felt for the characters. Everything worked to subvert my expectations, and then it ended beautifully. Like, it ended. Everything worked the way it did. The characters were great, and it ended. And that was great.
Check that one out.
Oh, it's good. There's one part. It's hard to see. Hard to watch.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
My number 5, Tiger King.
Oh, nice. Tiger King. That is epic.
Yeah, that was
Why'd you put it there?
I don't know. It was like I looked at the ones around it. I mean, it was more shock than anything, right? It wasn't super clever. I remember when we talked about it way back. I think we were talking about it with the guys. I don't know how. I think it was right before you left.
Maybe. I don't think so. It came out this year.
No,
it came out this whole year.
Yeah, actually, COVID hit and this came out, huh?
Yeah.
I don't. It was. There's moments and there's talkable. There's these buzz moments that you can kind of go back and be like, whoa, did you fucking see this thing? And I guess viral, right?
It made something I didn't think was good. You know what I mean? Like that's not something you would watch. That's not something like, hey, yeah, I need to see this. I mean, there was movies like Dr. Sleep, Invisible Woman, Raised by Wolves, and you watch Tiger King. You know what I mean? Like, that's how good it was. Think about it. It was good.
It was more like smut. Like
it was
a train wreck.
But it was a good one.
Just so interesting. It's like these people are out there.
Yeah.
It's not like you're reading the Inquirer and saying, it's bullshit. No, these fucking people are out there.
What I liked about it is I thought as the show's progressing, I thought Carol, whatever the fuck her name was normal. She was the normal one. And the way they posed it, when they did it, I was like, oh, everything she's saying sounds crazy. But I was like, maybe I'm not seeing it. I was like,
it was kind of like Breaking Bad. They started her normal,
yeah.
and then they progressively got to the point where like, okay, where do you get off the train? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
Like,
she's not paying her fucking workers and shit, and she's abusing these tigers too, and she's like, yeah, that guy's a piece of shit for abusing his tigers. I abuse my tigers good, you know. Like I was like, wait, what? That's a good one. All right, so number 4, Unhinged. That movie was spectacular. In fact, I will probably watch that again and again and again.
I need to watch that. I saw an interview, Russell Crowe talking about it, and he was talking about how when he read it, he didn't want anything to do with it, but that he really did end up liking the idea that there could be somebody like this out there.
I like that. I like that a lot. And not just that, it's the absurdity of how bad he is. It's like he might as well have taken a lollipop out of someone's mouth and then ate it in front of them and go, I don't fucking like lollipops. Like, because that's how bad he was. He was just so bad and unreal. It was like dialed to 11, you know how bad he was. Like,
now, I don't know how close he was when he did the interview to the promotion of the film. You know, I don't know if he'll say the same thing 5 years from now, because he looked like he was still carrying a lot of the weight from it. You know, he's one of those guys that gains the weight and loses the weight for the role.
wow, yeah, that's real fucked up. Yeah, but he looked like this is Russell Crowe in real life. He wasn't acting; it was him. I believed he was that guy.
They were just following him with a camera.
Dude, it was so good that I wanted a prequel of it. You know what I mean?
Oh shit!
Or maybe a sequel. Like he fucked with somebody, creating another one. Because all it is just he's having a bad day. He's fucking crazy, and somebody cuts him off. So he just goes crazy. I mean, he just goes crazy to levels I didn't even know exist. And he's not that bright. He's just crazy. And it's good. It's not like he's crazy like Waka Waka Do. He was just like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, and then he will stop at nothing, and he's not even that good at it, you know, that kind of thing. And then he's punching women, shit. It's fucking great, dude. It's like, yeah, dude. It's like a movie. It's like Falling Down gone south, you know. Like he's not the everyman. He's the fucking like boogie.
Falling Down. You're kind of sympathizing with them a little bit about. Sometimes maybe wanting to rage at shit, but not.
Yeah.
But again,
the shit that I'm angry at.
Yeah, you get off the bus, you know, somewhere between him, you know, shooting people and him shooting at the cops.
And Falling Down, it was like an excuse to be angry at shit. Like when you go to the fast food restaurant and they do fucking, yeah, we're serving breakfast early. Fuck you. You know, people who don't give a shit, you know? And I think they could have went further with that with this movie, but they really wanted to make him like, despicable.
Do you think that'd be a movie they could remake?
Remake? Unhinged?
No.
Or Falling Down?
Falling Down.
Fuck, I hope. But it'd be hard, right?
Yeah.
Because of our climate, you know, how you know, how people are. It would have to be like it'd have to be like a black guy or something like that, or maybe a woman. Dude, that's what would happen. It'd be a woman, and she'd be raging about shit. Nah, it'd be a woman that's raging about shit that's not really a thing, you know, like an overreaction to things, like, you know, like someone says women should have tampons, and so she sets fire to his face or some bullshit like that. And all these women are like, yeah, girl, you know, like someone burns tampons. What the fuck? You know, just like this outrageous shit, you know. That's what it would be. In fact, I think I could write that perfect fucking movie and then get all, but it would be shitty because I'm a dude. How dare I write that shit?
Oh yeah, you don't have
unless I turn trans and do it, and then you have to respect my brown pride, my trans pride.
Ooh, we're gonna have to when we talk about soul.
Okay, good. All right, what's your 4?
My number 4, The Last Dance. I don't think you watched this. It's about the Chicago Bulls.
Oh! I was watching part of that. That's Michael Jordan. All that shit. Oh yeah. That looked good. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's a good
It
one.
is
I
good.
didn't finish it.
It was good. The endings, they always ended like on a little bit of a cliffhanger. It was a weekly thing too. So it was when we talked last time about, binging or watching something, weekly. Um so yeah, every week it would end, and it was almost like a cliffhangery end. It had a lot of the music from back then, a lot of the visuals from back then. You got to see a lot of the clothing from back then, and
Yeah, yeah.
it was like what Wonder Woman 84 tried to do, but obviously couldn't. With yeah, we'll talk about that. Um, and then I don't know, it was nostalgia, and it was the 90s, man.
Yeah, no, it was. I watched the first episode. I thought it was, and then I remember watching clips about Nike where he was like, or he wanted to wear Nikes, and I was like, man, it's like the bird. It's like when I watched the O.J. Simpson one, the People versus O.J. Simpson, and then like it was like it took me back there.
Yeah,
Oh man, I might have to give that a go. That was
yeah,
a good one. That's
it
a
was a good
good
one.
pick right there. 4, yeah, that beats
And
a
I put it
Hinge.
above Tiger King. I feel like
Oh, it
there's
is
a,
better than Tiger
there's
King.
there's a lot more meaningful substance in The Last Dance.
Oh, it has more of the feels
Yeah,
because you were there. Like no one as popular as Michael Jordan was. You know what I mean? Like people like to say LeBron James and all these other fucking guys, but no, Michael Jordan was at a different level, man.
yeah,
You could go to like Indochina and show his picture, and he'd be more famous than
yeah.
Jesus. I mean, like you can't do that now. You can go to the Philippines, show Kobe Bryant. They're probably like Mike Tyson. It's not, dude. There's things in the '90s that cannot be rivaled now. Like you got your Michael Jackson, you got your
Oh,
Mike Tyson. Nothing rivals these guys.
Arnold
You
Schwarzenegger.
see, yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You get people that are famous, but it's different. To be at their level, it has to be a baby is born and they know them. That's
Right.
basically.
It's
That's a
like
good
in her
pick.
DNA. What's your number 3?
Tiger King. I liked it a lot. I mean,
No,
like,
I'm not.
I like that shit, dude. I like cults and I like craziness. So, I mean, we're not talking about documentaries.
Well, we talked about that, so I'll give you my 3. Queen's Gambit.
Oh, shit. I had that. Like, I matched. Great movie show. What'd you like about it?
You know what?
Chicken butt.
I kind of do like that this one I was able to binge because it felt like a long movie. I thought it was gonna be, another one about chess and this and that. Um, it was kind of like Soul. The the in Soul they talked about a little bit about if you're so laser focused on something, you give something up,
Mm-hmm.
that that
Yeah.
drive to be the best at this one thing, and aim at this thing. You get like this tunnel vision. And Queen's Gambit, I thought it did it really, because you're cheering her on, but at the same time you're realizing all the stuff that she's giving up along the way.
Yeah, you just know that it's going south for her as it's going.
Yeah. And I think
Uh,
even one of the other characters kind of spells it out for her too, and tells her, hey man,
the guy with the teeth.
yeah, you're gonna do all this. You're gonna be awesome, but you're gonna end up,
But
you
it's
know.
not just him. They reiterated again by like a chess master and
Well,
shit
it's
like
it's a
that.
theme, but the thing is, it's a theme throughout it, and it comes back, and you could
Yeah.
see it developing, and that's what I liked. It wasn't like at the very end they just tacked it on, like, hey,
Oh
you
no,
got all
yeah,
this,
yeah,
you're gonna
yeah.
give up. No, you see her
Yeah, they seasoned it.
giving up on things to move forward, you
Yeah.
know. So yeah, no,
I
it was
like I like Queen's Gambit quite a bit. Not more than the movies that I put opposed, but I mean like it's good because it made chess exciting. Because chess is exciting when you're playing it. I don't know about watching it. I mean, I play chess now, with my kid, and that's exciting. But watching it, watching, that's not.
when I was watching it, I got this sense of like watching Rocky movies,
Yes,
you
yeah.
know.
Especially when they were, what is it, announcing it or not announcing it, but
Yeah, commentators, and stuff like
comment. Yeah,
that.
they're commentating on it, and I
But
was like, fuck.
you see the characters' reactions and stuff too. That was what Rocky did, was, bringing that camera in, and then giving that emotional narrative to the fights.
Oh yeah. Well,
And
no, it's
so,
to give the layman's an understanding of what's going on, because you're
right.
just watching punching, and I mean, like, if you're not into that, you don't understand. But you got this guy left and left. You got the chess people, and it's cool too that they did this in Spanish. It was so you had to read the subtitles, and when you're focused on subtitles, you're paying attention more to the rhythm, and like you're just getting more excited about it. Even though
It's like a shared experience. It's like a laugh track. You're
yeah,
hearing the commentators get into it, so you start to get into it. You might not know
yeah,
exactly what they're saying, but it's something important that just happened right now, and it's a
I
way
thought it
of
was good directing.
I think, well, directing and writing. I don't know who was pushing to have that there to
Director
give.
has like, you're right, the writing, you could tell when shit sucks, but also the director. So yeah, you're right, you're fucking right, directing and writing push those two together, because the writing was good and the directing put it even fucking hammered it home. It was so good. And
And then
like,
the style of it, and you felt like this could have been real.
yeah,
That this could
it
have been
was
a true
real.
story.
It is it is she's real. I googled it, she's real.
She's not real.
Dude, that chick is real.
She's not real.
I know it's based off of a book, but if that was a book off a guy who witnessed this shit.
No, it's a fiction.
This shit's real. Queen Gambit. Real person. Oh, but it's based on a real person.
Very loosely based on a European champion.
Fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but I didn't care about that. I didn't want to look it up until it was done. It's like I'm watching it. I'm like,
I assumed it was real.
And then I was like, I'm not gonna read up on this until afterwards. I kind of want to go through, because the way it was shot, the way it was told, the way it was presented, it felt like it was happening, like it was real. And so I was down with it.
Huh. It's funny too, because okay, well, my only criticism of that show was at the end when everybody came together to help her. I was like, this isn't real. Like, I mean, like, everyone's just best friends and shit. Yeah, I fucked her too, like that kind of shit. Like, these two guys have fucked her, and then not just that. It's like they're all giving her moves on the phone, and I'm like, but why? Because it's only like, you got the pro right there, and maybe somewhat a pro, and then the two other guys are just losers, right, at chess. And so they're just all talking to her on the thing, and they're like, yeah, go here, go here, go here. And I'm like, why are they doing that? That's not real.
It was. I don't know what that was.
Come on, that was so stupid.
It was to feel good about her having friends.
Yeah, yeah.
But
it was
I
fake as fuck.
It was kind of weird.
It was, right?
It was kind of weird.
You know what's funny is when she has sex with dudes, it's like I love that part too, when she gets with the weird teeth guy, and she's like smoking a cigarette, looking at chess, and he's like this in the bed. And he's like, do you want me to do I
go back to my room or just?
And then she's like, you do whatever. And I was just like, damn. And then like she gets with that one guy who's really good at chess. I hated this guy's face. The guy with the hat.
Yeah, me too.
And she goes, that's what that feels like. And I was like, oh man, she got down, right? That's what that meant, right?
That's supposed to feel like, is what she says.
Oh, so like I thought he accomplished the job,
Yeah, he did. Because she had slept with some dude at some random party. But it was just like, okay, are you done?
Yeah, are you done? Yeah. The two dudes she got with, was like, whatever. But with this guy, she was like, oh, that's what that's supposed to feel like.
Right.
And then he starts talking about chess. And then like this kind of confused me. She was like, you're thinking about chess right now? And I was just like, but did she just do that? Like I thought, when did she change? Like there was no episode of when she changed.
I think she changed there.
Right there.
She was starting to feel like, hey, this is this is being connected to another person. Maybe she started to feel something that he wasn't feeling, and it was kind of like a backlash. Like when Catwoman bails on Batman, he's like, So that's what happened.
This doesn't happen to me. I'm Batman. Alpha.
Yeah.
Fucking alpha. All right, we straight off.
Was that your number 3 was Tiger King? How do we get there? Oh, because my number 3 was Queen's Gambit. So
okay. Oh, I was like, shit. Yeah. How did we get a Queen's Gambit? I was like, what the fuck did that happen? I was so confused. All right. So, all right. My number 2 is The Hunt.
What was that one about? I didn't watch
All
that
right.
one.
If you want to capsulize who I am as a person, that's the movie to do it. So basically, it's this chick who gets caught up in this whole life and death survival game, and she's just surrounded by all these Republican dudes, like your stereotypical Republican, like the angry girl Twitter. And I know these people. I fucking know these people. It's the angry girl on Twitter who's like just saying racist shit, but she don't know it, because she's just saying shit. And then there's like the hardcore conservative flag guy, and just all these guys are conservatives, and they're being hunted by liberals. And they're like outrageous too. Like both sides are outrageous. The guys are like not guys, but the Republican people that are being hunted, they're like ridiculous, like on the stereotypical side. But on the liberal side that are hunting them, they're on the most extreme. And they like kind of get killed because of their own stupidity with their liberal values. And the Republicans, of course, get killed because of and it's just so good. And this chick is caught in between because she's white and she's a woman. And that she said one thing to some random lady. And like, just to say it, but she's not either side. She's just a normal person that's outside of this like cycle, and she just so happens to be a badass. And they fucked up with this one because she doesn't give a fuck about your politics. And that's what I was like, I am you, lady. You are me. Because she's not Republican. She's not a Democrat. She's just there. And they just fucked up. Yeah, it's fucking good. I'd watch that again and again and again.
I think I did hear about it, and they were making, I think people were drawing comparisons to Deadliest Game.
It's kind of like that. It pretty much is.
The setup is that, but
it is, yeah.
Stuff going on.
What happened is it got smashed because it makes fun of liberals, but it also makes fun of Republicans. Like the conservative people that are getting killed there are stereotypical and pretty shitty. So it just so happens that you made fun of liberals. So media don't like that shit. So it smashed it hard.
My number 2 was Sonic.
Ooh, I forgot about that movie. I didn't even put that in my list or
in
the
running. Very beginning of the year. It was like February.
Yeah. That was a good movie. That was a really good movie. It looked good too.
It was a surprise. I think I've watched it like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
I ended up liking the music from it. Jim Carrey
coming back.
Pleasant surprise. Yeah. Seeing
I was hoping from Sonic, Ace Ventura 3. God, no. Fuck you. In a world where Bill and Ted in a world where Bill and Ted 3 comes out and I like it. I mean, like, seriously, got Bill and Ted 1 and 2, fucking terrible fucking movies. I dare you to try to watch them. They're fucking god awful. The 3 comes out, it's really good. Trust me, Ace Ventura 3 could be
because you went into it expecting it to be super bad, and then at the end you were like, hey, they actually have something to say. Okay, it's better than what I thought.
Perhaps. But I mean, with the right writing, with the right writing and direction, you can make us. I mean, like, he's still got it. Jim Carrey still has it. He's there. You watch that fucking Sonic movie, he's there. That's my Ace Ventura.
Yeah, that's the dude we grew up with.
That's my Me and Myself and Irene.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the Liar Liar. This is it. The Mask. This is everything. He should make sequels of his movies, and with the right writing, though, it could be good. If it's just people trying to make a quick buck, it's not going to be good.
Matrix 4.
That's going to be terrible. It's going to be terrible because it's going to be pushing okay, so what makes Matrix good is it's cerebral and there's cool science fiction-y things. But in a world where somebody can make a fucking badass movie with their phone, special effects can only take you so far.
Right.
What you need to do is make it very cerebral. They're going to go woke. They're going to go woke and they're going to go hard with it. So It's going to be hard to like it, you know, when you're writing against what you used to be. See, Matrix wasn't trying to be woke. It was it was trying to go with the story to make you think, not make you think about political views and how you are in reality and things, not how you are in reality. In fact, that's what that was going for, but how you are in society. I don't know.
How you perceive your world and the machine that you're a part of. Yeah.
This is going to go more towards like, be nice to these people, and these people have to be this 0.001%. You really got to look at them and think they're the best, you know, that kind of thing. That's what they're going to do. And it's going to be, although maybe it'll be okay, they're not using their full power because they're trying to push an agenda. Where can we insert X race? Where can we insert X relationship?
I want it to be good, but I think the only reason it's coming out is because of John Wick, because the resurgence of Keanu Reeves.
They're thinking Keanu Reeves, and Keanu Reeves wasn't too popular when Matrix came out. He had only made Speed and fucking Bill and Ted's. You know,
he was popular, but he wasn't like action movie star.
He wasn't Matrix.
No.
And then when Matrix came out,
then
he's a much bigger star. And I think everyone's in a rude awakening thinking he's going to be in this movie that much. I think he's just going to be a side character. Even though he should be the front and center star, it's like, what do you want to see Superman do? Do you want to see him follow a love story or destroy shit?
Destroy shit.
Matrix. What do you want to see? Keanu Reeves fucking do shit, or just be out there and decide you could do this? You could be the one.
I think it'd be cool if he's like sprinkled throughout and then shows up at the end and is all badass.
He's more, I bet money, he's more of that. You could do this. You could be the one, you know, rather than him being the one. The fucking reason I'm watching this movie. You know what I mean? Like,
the one.
Yeah, I want him to be good. I want Morpheus to do shit. I don't want to watch some character that may or may not be an AI and some guy who turns out to be a girl. And I mean, that's, I'm just saying.
You have to watch Blade Runner.
Well, I mean, man. Yeah.
So who's
the new one?
Who's your one?
All right, hey, let's do this. Wait. All right, we're gonna do the big reveal. You have to guess. You have to put your thing, which you guessed. You gotta show the camera what you guessed.
What I guess
shit! I can't see it. What? Okay. I see. We went comedy on both of us went comedy. I see, because you know that's not my.
No, I really thought you were gonna put Unhinged near the top, but I think you put it at 4, right?
Yeah, I did. I fucking love it. What one word describes why I like it? Go for it. Comedy gold.
Maybe that was his
true.
out.
It's true. That's good. All right, I was wrong. You called me out. I was wrong. I put this.
Yeah, you know what? No, I figured you would have put that for me. What was the word you put? Basic bitch.
Oh. It's backwards. It's cocksucker, because you're a cocksucker if you pick that shit as number 1. But you did it. So
you're happy. You're happy.
It's good. Hey, you know what's funny is you're more right than I am.
Hey, wait. So I think our number 1s are going to be the same.
I know. It is. This is the same. 1, 2, 3. Mandalorian. Yeah. Yeah. Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah, just that. But I think what kicked it over the top for me, because Sonic was another reason why I like Sonic so much. My brother was really into Sonic, the one that you share your middle name with, and so it was kind of like, man, I hope they do this right, and yeah, it was awesome, and Jim Carrey was somebody else that was at the peak of his powers, you know, around that time too.
My fucking hero. At that time, yeah.
And so it was like a blending of my childhood in a really awesome way. Mandalorian created a new version of that, you know, and I was able to share that, you know, with somebody else and look forward to it, talk to you about it, talk to my friends about it, and at the end, you know, celebrate.
Yeah, it was invigorating.
Yeah, it was.
It was like a renewal of who we were as people when we watch stuff. We would get together, talk about shit. It was a reason to get to the next week, you know? And then
and,
the next week, yeah.
and I don't think it would have been as powerful. Sorry, Joe Rogan. If if stuff like The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker hadn't existed, you know, I think as fans, a lot of us were worried that something that was a big part of us growing up and our pop culture was kind of going to the dumps, and to see what we valued as fans recognized and put up on the screen,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it was not, I don't want to say validation, but I just kind of want to say like recognition. Like, no, the reason the stuff that you liked about the stuff that you've liked since you were a kid is still worth liking today, and it still has value, and it should still be celebrated and explored. Um, I think that's why it had value. Now, why did it have wider appeal? I think a lot of the stuff put up in season 1, you know, the Baby Yoda angle, and I think that did a good job at bringing people in. And then Disney making the smart move to go ahead and put Filoni in and letting them expand on the Clone Wars series. You know, and tying it back to that stuff now. So now you're creating fans now that will maybe go back to the OG stuff.
I fucking hope.
And
Hope
yep.
people go back to Clone Wars because of this problem. Jon Favreau, you see in our text, right? He takes a lot of the credit for this. And yes, he is there namesake wise and helping out, usher in a new director, a new producer into shit. But we both know from watching the shit. We've heard him talk.
So did you watch the gallery, the new making of?
Yeah.
So there's a scene where Jon Favreau's like, "Hey, Mando should say this after he kills that guy," and it was Kablingy or something, I don't know. And Dave Filoni's like, "Mando say that? That wouldn't make any sense." And he's like, "Yeah, because like that's what so and so said after they killed somebody." And he's all, "No, you know, Mando wouldn't say that." And Jon Favreau pushes it like maybe a third or fourth time, and Dave Filoni still says no. And it doesn't happen. So I think that's one of those like checks and balance type things.
Yeah,
you know?
like because like Favreau's good.
Favreau's good, and he is a fan, but he's not on the level of Dave Filoni in terms of.
Yeah, he's not there in the world. He's like a kid playing with toys. Meanwhile, Dave Filoni is like, he is the toy. Like he's in the world, around the world. He's living, he's breathing in there. Meanwhile, the other guy is just playing from a toy perspective. Wouldn't it be cool if he did this? Wouldn't it be cool if he did that? Dave Filoni's like.
But here's why I give Jon Favreau credit, though, because he does have a way of putting together the right pieces to make the right thing.
I agree.
He is a manager, and he's able to see the talent and bring those people in, and he's got the connections. So, you know, I think Bill Burr talked about, you know, who brought him in, and he said he talked to Jon Favreau. And he told Jon Favreau, he's like, "Hey man, you know, I've been trashing Star Wars for a long time." And Jon Favreau was like, "Yeah, I think that'd be awesome. I think your fans would get a kick out of it, you know. And so, you know, I wrote this part for you. Will you take it?"
Bill Burr, he renounced everything he said about Star Wars.
Well, I don't know. I don't think he said well, from what I've watched him, I don't think he's renounced it. But I think now he sees the value in it.
He's a little bit, he's not shitty about it anymore.
Right, because I think he's going to be approaching Kevin Hart levels of fame here because of The Mandalorian. Not because of all the other awesome shit that he does and because of his views and his comedy, but I think this puts him up there, like out in the public, where they're like, "Who is this guy?" You know?
But it's not like this is a meal ticket for him, though. He would never. He would burn the whole fucking thing down if he wanted to.
No.
So when he genuinely, when he sees the value in it, he sees the value in it. Like he sees why kids like it. he's part of this shit. Fuck, I take a show with him in it.
Well, I mean, the problem for him now, if he goes to a con, he's going to get mobbed from now until the rest of his life.
And he's funny.
And he's funny.
Not just funny, like, oh, I mean, he's fucking funny. And like, when you ever see him talk, he's smart too. Whenever you see him talk, he kind of, he's there in the conversation and observing it at the same time. So when something says something, he's like, that didn't make sense what you just said just there. You're just, and he sneers and goes, you're just talking to talk.
Did you watch his Hot Ones where he has to eat the 10 chicken wings and they're all super spicy?
Nah, I didn't watch that one.
Yeah, it's worth watching. It's good. It is worth watching.
I like Bill Burr a lot. He's a helicopter pilot too. Did you know that?
Yeah, I thought that shit was crazy. I was like,
I mean, he can fly. He can really fly. You know that. Okay. For me, Mandalorian, everything you said, ditto. But I like the whole. I couldn't wait until the next episode. Everything was a surprise. It all worked out in the end. They even had the balls to get rid of the Baby Yoda, which I thought they were using it as a crutch, and they kind of were. But it gave the character a reason to fight for something, and the value for us to be like, now they got rid of him. And now we're going to have to see a world in which Mando will have to fucking survive without that crutch.
He'll be back. In some way, he's going to be back. But
there's a season 3 coming out.
You're right. I want to say they leaned on him less. It was more the relationship and then Mando's willingness to start departing from something he'd been raised, his religion,
Yeah.
To sacrifice that and start moving away from that to save one.
Yeah.
And to be a damn good father figure, in doing so.
Yeah.
Shit.
I hope for season 3, it's more of a look at his past, like just get deeper into it, like open him up more, like because he didn't just become a kid and then Mandalorian. There was like
my girl was like, wait, there's not gonna be another one until 2022. I go, yeah. I go, that's kind of what I want. I want them to walk away from it and really cook something up, another arc, another question, another challenge, something like this, which I don't know. I think it's really, really powerful, that this idea that, becoming a father, and it's not even biological, it puts biological dads to shame that don't step up, or any parent. But to take on as a parent and to start reevaluating everything for the sake of this new being that you're taking care of, your charge, and to start kind of making sure that not just like put everything below them, but because there's that, right? Oh no, my child's number one. Well, then automatically everything else is out. But to see him kind of struggle with it and weigh it out and then slowly move to show that, not just say that. Because he never said that. He never had to say, Grogu's number one. Grogu's the most important thing to me.
They showed it.
Not until like the second of the last episode. And even then, it's awesome because he's basically saying, somebody said he does the Taken speech with the mom.
Yeah, basically.
I will find you.
Yeah, when he did that, I actually thought that was pretty corny. It's only until he takes off that helmet where that guy Pedro, he got paid.
Yeah,
let's just say that was good. I think that season 3 sets it up for a reintroduction to the character, see his life, and then you gotta introduce a new villain. I don't know. It's
gotta be a time jump. There's gotta be a time jump.
It won't be a time jump. It'll be 2 years later.
It's a time jump.
But it's 2 years later. I mean, like, fuck. I mean, that's not a time jump. We're effectively. You could just say that happened. I don't know, but fuck, that was great. That was a great show. What a great list. Do you have any honorable mentions? No, you don't.
What I've watched so far, the second half of Rick and Morty.
You haven't finished it?
I haven't finished it. I think
dude, a Rick and Morty cannot happen without me seeing it right away.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I got annoyed.
What episode did you watch recently? I didn't even think there was more. What?
The vat of acid episode, maybe. I think that was.
Yeah, that's when he goes when he has the go back in time kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
I did show that one to my girlfriend. Did.
Yeah, it's a rough go watching it. But you know what's funny? I noticed that Morty is different from when he was in season 1 to season 4.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
more
yeah,
of
yeah.
a character. I liked him when he was dumb.
And he challenges Rick more.
Yeah.
And then Rick kind of really has to, I don't want to say overcompensate, but maybe he feels like he has to just be stronger to keep Morty in his spot.
Yeah, well, shit. I mean,
are you? Yes, I'm fucking working on it.
I liked it when it was the snake episode. You remember Snake Jazz?
Snake Jazz episode was
that shit was hilarious. Everything's in space.
Okay. Everything is literally in space, Morty.
Yeah, when the snake bites him, I was like, wait, what? There's a space snake? I thought that was the dumbest thing ever. It was so good.
I'm down to jump into some Soul or Wonder Woman right now. I don't know which
one. Okay, which one do you want to do first? Soul or Wonder Woman? Wait, I have an idea. Wait, give me a second. Alexa, flip a coin. Heads is Wonder Woman.
Heads.
Okay, we'll do Wonder Woman.
Okay, let's do Wonder Woman.
Your face. Wait, you want to do Soul? We can do Soul. We can do Soul.
No, it's like I feel like I got a lot more to say about Wonder Woman than I do about Soul.
Yeah, it's easier to shit on something than to talk about something that's good.
Well, because okay, let's go with Soul. Let's start with Soul. And then we'll talk about why one works and why the other one doesn't work. So you said I enjoyed it. We'll score it, right? You said that Soul, you thought it was going to be about, like you thinking what you're supposed to be, but that's not quite it. So they mentioned that in the movie. So for those of you that watched it, spoilers, right? Soul, quick synopsis. Jazz musician by night, teacher by day, finally has to make a decision about what he's actually going to do for the rest of his life. Because both are almost on the table. But he dies before he gets to go ahead and pull the trigger on his dream.
It's fucking tragic, dude.
Yeah, it is. And so then you kind of see him kind of going through the afterlife and then the before life and then trying to find a way back into his body. Towing this other soul along the way who doesn't want to live. So he wants to live. The soul doesn't want to live. This other soul, 22, doesn't want to live. And I thought that was pretty clever.
It like the ideal of a soul has to learn to be something and then go into its person and find purpose.
Now I saw the setup from the very beginning. The soul not wanting to go down. I'm like, okay, so then he's gonna show this person and he's gonna end up having a swap and stay dead. They end up pulling the rug out from that too. But and yeah, along the way, he's thinking that he was born to be a jazz musician, that it was his purpose in life to be a jazz musician and to play with the greats and to fucking do this shit, right? But then he talks about, I still don't know what 22's purpose was. And the managers or whatever, they laugh at him. The purpose, that's not what you're supposed to find. Nope, you don't find a purpose. You guys are funny. So that's not what the movie was about. It wasn't about finding your purpose. It's about what makes you alive. What is the thing that
living
makes
life
you feel alive? What's that?
Living life.
What for some people it is music. They hear music and then that's what makes them feel alive. That's their connection to the world around them. For some people it could be reading. For some people it could be stargazing. For some people it's driving. For some people it's meditating. For 22 it was much more basic than that, and I think it's more accessible to us, the audience. We can kind of all identify with, just kind of laying down, and just kind of like looking up at things and looking at things with wonder and new eyes. And going back to that time, when you could see the world that way. So hers was a lot broader, I think. Her spark, I think, is what they called it. Her spark was literally living, being alive was her spark. Just breathing and tasting things and experiencing the world in a bunch of different ways was her spark. I still want to say that the main characters, um, his spark is probably still music, you know, um, but it also became, like helping other people find their thing too.
His purpose.
Not just strictly as a teacher, but as a mentor,
Yeah.
and I like that. I like that angle too. There's that role for somebody. You don't have to be a teacher, just somebody
Yeah.
that inspires somebody else. It doesn't have to be a child either. It could be somebody your age or whatever. Just somebody that can
What gives you
inspire
that
somebody else to be alive.
to be
You
alive?
know,
Yeah.
to be alive. Um, yeah. So that's what I liked about it, and it did touch on the theme from Queen's Gambit. Kind of zeroing in on something to the point where you miss everything else. So he 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 confused his spark for his purpose. Yes, music makes him feel alive, but that's not his purpose in life. You know, um, that's just his way of connecting to the universe, right? Um, his his if you want to put a purpose on him, I think it's everybody's purpose. Really, it should be to be a mentor. Um,
Should be no. I think you man, fucking ever. You really broke that movie down. Like I've never like. There's a lot of movies we watch. I've never seen you break anything down like that. Usually it's back and forth, but man,
I thought a
you
lot
really had
about
an
it as I
axe
was
to
watching
grind.
it. This is
It's a
I don't
learning movie. I learned a lot.
know.
Apparently, you learned more. I have to say, you said things about that movie that I thought I knew, but I didn't.
I okay. I don't want to say I don't think I learned a lot from it because there's a lot of things in there that I identify with.
Okay. All right.
Um, the things in my teaching, the idea of getting to work with other people and hopefully inspire them, you know, to help find out what is it that makes them have fun or enjoy life. So I was seeing a lot of that in the movie as I was watching it. I think it was more like an acknowledgement of of or confirmation of my choice of what I do, because that's my spark. That's what drives me. Um, but again, it's not the same for all people. But when I'm talking about mentoring, I'm not talking about teaching. It can be parenthood too, or just a connection to another person. You know, um, where both of you can kind of learn from each other.
Yeah. Hey, man, that's what he does with 22. It
That's what he
wasn't
does.
like he
They
was.
both learn from each other,
Yeah.
and and it's just that mentorship, that connection, being able to help each other and help themselves in the process, through their relationship. I think that's where the power of the movie comes from, and I mean it's got to be a shitty deal to be isolated. You know what I'm saying? And
Man, you
and
took this
the
movie deep.
well, so like the lost souls, they're
I
out
like
there in
that.
this space together, but they're not interacting with each other really, and they're pushing anybody else that approaches them away. So, and that's this cycle, right?
Hmm.
um Again, they took some ideas from In and Out, right? This way of kind of visualizing these aspects of ourselves. um I don't know, I dug it, but
You know,
I can't say that I learned a shit ton from it. It was just more like, hey, this is what I've been saying right here, you know just
it's funny.
trying to say.
It visualized and used terms to explain a lot of concepts that were pretty up there. For instance, like the end of life. They didn't make it scary. They made it quite pleasant and mathematical. You know what I mean? Like both you had your spiritualism and you had your science nerds and shit. And then like to create these gods, right? They could have made these like scary images and stuff, but they're abstracts, They're
Mhm.
just like abstract things that really don't have a form. They just take the form of what they need to do at the time. And I thought that was pretty cool. And like Inside Out, they did a lot of things like that. They took concepts and made it a visual
Yep.
thing, And I thought that was really cool. Like and like I guess I felt like I liked a lot of things that were just superficial. Like I like the abstracts. I like how the characters are portrayed. Like so he's got these godly beings and they're just kind of casual, you know? Like there's no stress or anything. Meanwhile, this other guy, he's very stressed, you know, and he's trying to fucking figure shit out. And it was cool that he was an abstract too, but I guess he just didn't have to figure anything out, you know.
Terry was a
Jerry.
cool character. I did like Terry.
Jerry. And then I like the concept of you know, if you focus too much, you become this like person that's lost in the void. You know, like you're like this like monster looking thing, but really all it is just you're just consumed with one thought. And there's people out there trying to save you, astral projection style. So they got these people. This is so cool. They got these random people that exist in all our lives. They're just there, right? But in fact, they're pretty spiritual people. You just have to talk to them. But because we don't talk to them, we don't know that. So you got the
Right.
sign spinner who has his own fucking ship, and he knows so much about afterlife and everything. But in his real life, all he is just sign spinning, and he's in this kind of flow state.
And he gets shat on, you know,
Yeah,
by people around him, or
yeah,
ignored, you know, or
yeah.
blown off.
But in reality, he's like a hero. Like he's just like he's saving people. Like he helps this one guy who lost it. And then at first you think this person's dead. No, he's not dead. He's a stockbroker. And he goes, "Oh, we got ourselves another stockbroker." And they start beating drums and shit and trying to help
I like
him.
the dude's name too, Moonwind.
Yeah.
Like, damn, that's a cool name.
Yeah, and sign spinner and shit. And they're all of them are just meditating and shit. And then because he sees these people and he knows them, he knows how to get there again. And he does it through the piano, you know, and it took him there. And I thought that was fucking great, dude. There's a lot of good little parts there. I like the comedy. That was really good, you know, when she's like burning shit down or no, she's like a firefighter and she's like, I wanted to see it burn, you know, and
Yeah,
how she's
I kinda
talked
like that
for
fire.
yeah,
That was
and
Tina
she's
Fey.
number 20, huh?
That was
Tina Fey,
Fey.
yeah. Yeah. It was really good. It was a really good movie. Solid. You know, the music was Hans Zimmer. You know, can't go wrong there.
Yeah.
I know. I saw Hans Zimmer. I was like, what the fuck?
So
We're in for it.
I think he's part of it, but it's mostly Nine Inch Nails.
Oh wow, really? Wow, that's good too.
It's Nine Inch Nails and
There
John
was a
Batiste.
part.
John Batiste, because they had to bring in different genres, right?
Yeah, because
John Batiste did a lot of the jazz stuff. Nine Inch
Yeah.
Nails did a lot of the afterlife stuff.
Yeah, the afterlife music was good. It was very electronic-y, which Nine Inch Nails can get down with. There was one part, it was weird, where the main character looked at the camera and said, I want to fuck you like an animal. And I was like, what? That's weird. Nine Inch Nails. That's fucking crazy. Why would he say that shit? No, but Nine Inch Nails is fucking tight, you know?
Well, they also did the music for was it The Social Network?
He
They
did?
got an Oscar for it.
Really? Wow. That's a good movie.
And the music was good too.
Oh wow. I don't remember it. Music was pretty good.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, oh shit, the movie is fucking great. I like the fact that he got his dream at the end. Like he gets back into his life. He gets it. And then, you know, he's like, what the fuck is this? And then that one lady gives him a badass fucking piece of knowledge. Remember when she says the fish,
Yes. That they want the ocean. It's a fish that was asking for the ocean, and he was like,
but all this is water.
This is just water. He said, no, I want the ocean.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't know you're in
what you wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I mean, that was a really good thing, because sometimes like you have what you want, you just don't know it.
Yep.
You know, you're just stuck thinking for the next thing, you know.
Now I could never use that, because if I ever say that to anybody, they say, you got that from Soul.
I doubt it though. I don't feel Soul is going to be as popular as say Inside Out.
You know, I feel like a lot of parents are going to be maybe apprehensive about showing their kids this one. Because it talks about death. If they don't take the time to look into it and watch it, I watched it with my girlfriend, and she's got a daughter, and I was like, you know what, this might be one to screen before you show it to her, let her watch it, in case questions come up about death. Because some kids have different experiences with it. Some kids some kids understand it, or some kids have heard about it, but they don't really know what it means to be dead, you know?
Hmm.
And so for some kids, the realization that life ends might be one of those things that you kind of want to be there for.
What I've taught my kid, he's 10, from the beginning, kids naturally fear death. They do. That's the way it is. I don't. That's the way that is. So you have those two conflicting realities. And eventually, after years of just like, hey, man, if it happens, it happens. It gets to a point where kids is like, yeah, I guess it happens if it happens. You really don't really get as phased as one would. You know what I mean? Because it is a natural progression of life.
Well, but okay, so it's on Disney Plus, right? And kids might have a Disney Plus, little sub menu or whatever for them. Her kid's 5, and if you start maybe 3 or 4 or 5, the kids might
Even
not
5, I don't think you would understand this movie or enjoy it as much as like Inside Out.
see. But but you don't know where it starts to click. Like, hey, wait a minute, where was he going in the ramp? Is he about
It's
to
hard.
die?
It's too hard for a kid to understand because like it's so quick. He falls down and he's on a ladder, and then like you're like, what he's a
But
cool
then
little
he's in the
character.
hospital. But then he's in the hospital,
Yeah, I
and they're like,
know.
well, like how Grandpa's in the hospital. Does this mean
Yeah,
that he won't come back? Is there a possibility that he's trying to get back into his body right
I
now? What's
doubt
going
it.
on?
You'd be surprised. Kids don't understand a lot of shit.
But at some point they do start to apply what they're seeing to what their
I agree.
experiences are.
I agree.
So I mean, again, your kid's 10, this other kid is 5, but you know your kid better than anybody
I
else.
would
She knows her kid.
theorize. I theorize at 5, they can't understand a lot of this movie. These are some high
Oh yeah,
level
they won't get the
concepts.
nuance. They'll laugh at
They
like
wouldn't
the
even get
cat.
death. I mean,
They'll
they
laugh at the
make
guy
it.
ripping his pants.
Yeah, no, it's too quick. You know what I mean? Like they didn't and that's good for us as adults watching it. That is death. Death is like that. And then you're on to your new thing or whatever. That's what's cool about that. But for kids, man, they don't they don't get that kind of shit. When things move too fast like that, they're just like, oh, okay. They just
Well,
accept it.
I guess I'm talking more about the idea of death.
I
Like
hear you,
that
but
that
if
the
you're not
parents aren't always going to be there.
if you ain't saying shit, they ain't getting that. There's no way they're understanding that this is death.
Well, but my thing is like, would you want them to learn it from a movie?
I mean, if they can grasp that this is death and life and rebirth and all that above,
Or
death.
if as a parent you see them and they're starting to ask these questions or whatever, you're not sure what the fuck it is because you didn't watch the same movie that they watched.
Well, you should definitely watch shit with your kids. Always.
Yeah, but I felt like this was a good one to watch ahead of time.
I don't know. I think watching with your kid, good. Letting your kid watch something and not watching it with them, that's a no-no.
Maybe it's because I'm coming at this from like a teacher's point of view. You want to preview what you're going to show to your kids before you show it to them, only because you want to be able to.
I agree to some extent, like Apocalypse Now or some shit like that. But when it comes to a cartoon movie, I mean, I would recommend watching it with you. Never like just a random. Nowadays, back then I don't care, but nowadays I would totally always watch it with a kid. I don't think you need to preview it first because why the fuck are you gonna watch this movie twice like that? Like that would. Ugh. But I mean, if you watch it with your kid, I mean, if you can't come up with like, if they don't say anything, you're good. But if they ask questions, you should be able to explain. Well, he's moved on to another part of his life. It just so happens he's going in an elevator instead of playing music now.
Yeah, but you got your head on your shoulders. So do I. So does my girlfriend.
Okay, then I don't know what
Some
we're
people
talking
aren't
about.
equipped.
Hey, you can't
Some people aren't
account.
ready. Some people aren't ready to start talking about that with their kids.
You can't account for, dude. If you're
So-
ghetto, you ready for death. That's what that is. Born ready. You're born in the ghetto. You got a knife next to you. You got a shank. You've been sharpening your pencils.
So for this movie, they actually created a cultural trust, which I like, but it looks kind of weird when you see them talking about it. You see Pete Docter and he's sitting at this big old table, right? Think about those scenes of like a president sitting at sitting with his cabinet, at a big old table. So it's Pete Docter sitting at this table, and it's all African American people around him, you know, and
Okay.
they're there to give kind of like consultants, you know, like a military consultant, but these are cultural consultants, so they're all coming from different aspects of it. It I did like the idea of it because, and
The
this kind of goes back
barbershop?
to our no, no, this is a behind the scenes thing.
Oh.
Pete Docter, the
Oh,
director,
oh, oh, for the barbershop scene.
for the whole movie,
Oh,
for the
really?
barbershop scene, for music, for the environment, for so originally, like, they were gonna have the old lady sitting out in the front, and it was his mom with some friends, but then they said, no, you know what, uh you know, in the African American community, there is a big matriarchy, you know, um and so they probably wouldn't just be outside chilling, they'd be working. So why doesn't he visit his mom at work? And they have that workplace banter or whatever, you know. And so that's where that kind of came from. And
Okay.
I could see that because I've seen it before. I
Yeah.
mean, I have lived that, you know.
Well, she owed.
You know.
I hear you.
But they said just sitting outside all day long is not a thing.
Yeah.
That's something that's been popularized in movies, that they're just kicking back, just waiting for shit to happen or just talking shit. No, they're working and talking shit, you know. That's their own barbershop, you know. And so those types of changes came out of this cultural trust. But what I liked was they 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 didn't pick somebody of color to direct and write the movie.
They
They
just
let
had a
the doctor
consultant.
do it because he knows how to tell a story and put together a narrative, something cohesive, right? He's the guy that has the experience within Pixar and has had success within Pixar. He's the right guy for the job.
That's fucking smart. Like, you have
But
a military consultant. Why not have a?
a cultural consultant, because and he acknowledged, he's like, I don't have the same experiences that they have.
That would make your writing better. A lot.
That's why I liked it. And it goes back to like our whole Dave Filoni, John Favreau thing. Dave Filoni is almost like the Star Wars cultural consultant, right? Because there is a culture within the fandom. John Favreau is the storyteller. Dave Filoni's still a good storyteller. He directed a bunch of the shit from Clone Wars and shit like that, right? But John Favreau's got kind of like this overview of how to put together a whole series
And he made Iron Man.
and he made Iron Man and kickstarted the whole fucking Marvel universe, right? So I saw that same thing here. Um, they're in the writers' room with them. They're people from all different aspects of the African community and stuff. People that grew up in those parts of New York and all that stuff. So I thought that was cool. But I wonder, is there going to be more of that? You know,
I hope. Just the concept of it alone, like instead of like making an entire woke movie with Captain Marvel, why not have like a female feminist consultant?
okay, so here's the problem with the analogy that you're making. Captain Marvel is not supposed, well, if they had come at it the right way, it wasn't supposed to be about somebody trying to make a statement as a female in a male society, right? Because then you would have different conflicting feminist viewpoints, you know.
But that movie did that exactly what they were trying to go for.
Right, and it's not a good thing. It's not a good theme, and it wasn't well executed.
You're trying to get killed
because it's not it isn't. It just doesn't work.
No, it
The way
can't.
that they did it. If they wanted to do it, they then you make a movie about that. You don't try to shoehorn it into a superhero movie.
No, I think that if there's a will, there's a way. And if you have a feminist consultant and an actual writer, actual director, not just because they're female.
Right.
I mean, if you had just an act, like, I'm not saying that they're not writers or directors. I'm just saying, like, you want your A+ material for this. Patty Jenkins had won a fucking Oscar. So she was at the table, you know, when she did Wonder Woman, the first one.
Yeah.
One. She was at the table. It made sense. She had the talent. She wasn't this fucking person. They got an Oscar winner, director, and a writer.
who had written before. She didn't write Wonder Woman.
No.
She wrote Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah. We'll go there in a second. No,
Okay,
she's on the
yeah.
writing credit. She's on the writing credit
Yeah.
for Wonder Woman.
Most directors end up as a writing credit, especially.
I agree. I agree. However, she was there. She had the talent. So what you would want to do with Captain Marvel, a no-namer, would you not want whatever you could bring, like the best director you could come up with? And then what they did was they just shoehorned it like a woman. Like a woman director.
Captain Marvel was trying to do, Wonder Woman did it better.
Exactly.
In terms of, a woman.
But if you had like Christopher fucking Nolan working that with a consultant, you would have got what you wanted. You would have got what you wanted. He could put a narrative together. Well, he used to be able to put a narrative together. And I'm not saying he's the best. I'm just saying like just somebody who's done movies.
Yeah.
Jon Favreau would have did a better job. Just get himself a female consultant, a feminist.
Whoever does a good job, and Pete Docter's a great guy. Writing characters that are compelling, that are relatable, that are
in a story that works,
that you're on their side and you're experiencing things through them, and learning something through them too.
And that's it. And like what I hated about Captain Marvel is they built up this whole fucking thing, and I thought it was cool, but it was still stupid. You built up this thing of her fighting him, and she doesn't, and that's it. And I was just like, oh, okay, cool. But you built up a theme and you subverted my expectations, and you subverted it in a stupid way, rather than
Filmento did a really good video about that.
Yeah, I bet he did. I fucking bet, because he's fucking white and he's a male piece of shit.
No, watch it, because he actually juxtaposes.
No,
Wonder Woman
I'm not against it. No,
right.
I bleed this guy. This guy's my fucking spirit buddy. He says shit I say. Dude, everything I say, he says. I mean, he just says it better. He does. Yeah, and he's way better at what I say. It's good shit, dude. I'll tell you, man. I love that guy. He says it like when he's talking, I'm like, yeah, man, I fucking love when you say shit that I think or that I want to think, but you say it better. Yeah, but Soul was pretty good. I think we broke it apart. I liked a lot of it. The music was good. Let's break this down.
All right.
So, rewatchability. What are we giving it? He gets 20.
6. I'm not going to watch it anytime soon. I will rewatch it though.
All right, I'm thinking. You're right. I'm not going to watch it again anytime soon, but I will watch it again, like I watched Inside Out. I probably will watch it within the year. I give it a 7. Story.
Fuck, man.
It's a good story.
I almost want to give it a 10.
I don't know about 10, dude.
That's why I'm like, I almost. I mean, it'd be a 9.
Let's go. What keeps it away from a 10?
Because I was able to guess a lot of the story beats early on. But the surprise was the counter of purpose in as opposed to spark, and I never thought of that really. And so that, but I mean, right away I was like, well, then they're gonna go on some adventure, and 22 is gonna learn to want to live, and so she's gonna decide to live, and and he's gonna decide to it'd be okay to move on, which ended up happening.
But then he gets a second chance. I didn't see that coming.
They give him a second chance, but he is resigned to moving on at the end of the movie.
Yeah, but I didn't see that
as a character. As a character, I figured he would be resigned to death. The finality.
I agree too, but they didn't do that to him.
They didn't do that, but again, that's an external thing. And this was good. This is good writing. The character grew and stayed true to himself.
Yeah.
That's good. It didn't.
They gave us the death without giving it to us.
Yes, exactly.
I thought that was good. I thought that was good because I knew he was good.
I thought that was good too.
I thought they were going to kill him off, period, from the beginning, and he lived.
I thought he was going to die. I thought he was going to die.
And then he lived, though. That subverted my expectation. And the way they played it out, they're like, we're cool. We worked it out with Jerry. and then or Terry.
Look
and
over
then,
there.
yeah, then he does it. I thought that was I thought that was really good. I'm trying to think of why I'm not giving it a 10. That's hard. That's hard, man, because like I liked the characters. I liked the story.
They almost did too good of a job of laying it out in one go to where you really don't have to go back to it to take it apart.
Okay. Nah, I could watch it again and probably divide more information from it.
Yes, but not on the level of say like Inception or something. We always go back to that. I think we're gonna
Yeah, that's
probably
true.
put
I'll
that
watch Inception
5
way more
movies
than
of
this.
yeah.
But
So
story wise, I don't know, man. I'm feeling 10. I don't know. I'm trying to think of why I can't give it a 10. It did subvert my expectations, even though it did play into them.
and that's my problem with it too. I saw what was coming, but getting there was awesome. Do we have an engagement one? Do we have like
Yes, we do.
okay, that for me is probably going to be like a high 9 or a 10.
But we're not there yet. Stick to story.
Okay. Story 9.
I'm moving with my heart. 10.
God damn it.
I could, dude, like it was, why can't I give it a 10? And I can't think of why I wouldn't give it a 10. It was easy to see what was going to happen, but they subverted it. And again, it's like, I want Luke Skywalker to fight, and they gave that to me, but not like in Star Wars 8.
I'm gonna stay on the 9.
Yeah, no, it's good. I'm not trying to change your mind. 9's solid. I'd give it a 9 if I had not given it a 10. Engagement. 10.
10, because even though I knew what was coming, I was like, how is it going to play out?
Yeah.
You know, I and Phil Minto again, he talked about time and how you know where you need to end up, right?
Yeah.
In time travel movies, you know where you need to end up, but you got to make it interesting getting there, you know, and it's got to be compelling. He breaks down the 3 things that have to happen for that to be effective. This one, I mean, me trying to be all smart and shit, like, oh, I know what's gonna happen, but I was like, fuck, how's it gonna get there? You know, and so yeah, I'll put 10 for engagement because
yeah,
I was in it, man.
I was in it, dude. I kept looking at my wife and kid. We were all watching it together. I was like, "Are you fucking watching this?" Like, I was like, "Are you? I can't. What is this? Why is it so good?" Like,
I didn't think when I first heard about the movie, I was like, how can you make a whole movie about this?
I thought it was gonna suck. I was like, this must be the B team.
I thought it was gonna be good, not as good as Inside Out.
I went to theater to watch Inside Out.
I didn't watch it in the theater. I watched it.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, I went to theater. Yeah. It was a kid movie. I'm like, yeah, let's go. I mean, there's all these movies that come out for kids. I didn't go to them. I watched this movie. I will enjoy this movie. This movie, Soul, if it would have came out in theater, I would not have went out to theater to watch it.
I probably wouldn't have gone out either.
Fuck no, dude. It looks stupid. It looked dumb. The drawings look dumb, you know. And then like it just seems superficial as a story. I'm like, oh, he's gonna learn that he wants to be a teacher the rest of his life, and he doesn't really want to be a musician. I got it. And I was like, so wrong. You know, I mean, it was kind of right, but I was wrong. And it was just, It was good. It was so good. It was so good. And like, if I know now what I knew then, I wish I had saw it in theater. Because that's a lot better than Tenet.
I like being here curled up, you know, with somebody else that I could kind of share with.
Hey, fuck, I'd be curled up.
That was cool. In a movie theater, you gotta go to a certain movie theater to be able to do that. So
that movie would have been great in theater. The music was great. Speaking of which, score.
9.
9? Oh shit, you gave it higher than I did.
Yeah, because it's a lot of music that you don't typically see in movies,
and especially the jazz.
The jazz, yeah. And then watching the behind the scenes. So John Batiste, he's the band director for the music director for Stephen Colbert, Late Night with Stephen Colbert, and so or Late Show with Stephen Colbert, sorry. And so he talked about putting together a jazz composition that was still accessible to people. that wasn't like way too out there that would turn people off, with
It was good
too
jazz.
much it was good. It was good. And and the other cool thing was a lot of it is him playing. A lot of the animation is based on watching him play. Uh then you get to the abstract stuff. You get 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah, it's
And
different. Yeah, it was so different.
those guys are really good at creating this ethereal sound that grates at you, but you don't know why. You know, um, they did the song "Hurt," right, um, with Johnny Cash, and there's this like sound in the back, and it's just like it 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 affects you, but you don't know why. And so when they created the sound for the afterlife, and they were like, what does this sound like without making it scary, but still making it imposing? Like this is the end.
Hmm.
So they came up with the music for that. They came up with the music for the pre-life too, and that kind of stuff. And then the characters. Because when Terry moves around, he has his own theme, which is still kind of jazzy, but not jazz, you know?
Yeah,
And so and so the music gave a lot of language to the film too. So I got to give it a 90. A
it
lot of power.
merged with the movie because it was very the images from Afterlife to the actual movie was very different, and the
It gave you
music.
cues. It gave
Yeah.
you an audio cue.
So when you hear the music and you watch that, it's like a different movie. And then you go into jazz, and like not just that, like the Frog Princess, they play jazz and blues. Music was unrememberable and very fucking in your face, like boom, like with the trumpets, like that's what they thought jazz was. But this one gave you some jazz with heart. And it was like that's what jazz is.
And when they were doing some of the good jazz, you see the characters kind of reacting to each other.
Yeah.
And it was like what we talked about with Queen's Gambit.
Yeah.
Through the other characters, you're giving context that hey, this is special. So if you didn't feel it already, you're seeing other people feel it, and it becomes part of that shared response, again, laugh track or whatever.
Yeah. But the
So,
jazz, yeah, right. It was like a language unto itself with
mhm.
them talking through jazz. In fact, you could probably made a movie just on that. You know what I mean? Even the
Yeah.
barbershop scene was pretty good,
That was
in there.
that was a good
I was
scene
like,
too.
shit, this is good. And
Yeah.
then you're right. And then when they go to 9 Inch Nails, that was such a good move. And in fact, I think maybe they should just do that all the time. It's just like for different attitudes, music, like fight music guy and story mode guy. If you're going to do an
I feel
action
like
movie,
they thought really hard about the
everything.
kind of music that they were going to put in this movie.
Wow,
Not
I
just
felt like
jazz, but like who was going to be the person. And right now, who's kind of the ambassador for jazz is John Batiste. He's been out there a lot. Um, he's blowing up since Stephen Colbert. But yeah.
I have to say,
Also,
like
oh,
when you watch this movie, it is much better now that I've talked about it than I thought. You know what I mean? I liked it a lot. That's why it was on the text. I was like, this fucking movie's really good. I just don't know why. It's everything. I think everyone should watch it,
I had
especially if
already
you're a
planned on
man.
watching it when it came out. I'd already planned on watching it. Then you
I
said
did.
it, and I was like, okay, that reaffirms it. I mean, damn, Kevin's on it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was thinking all the guys should watch it because like it's there. It's there. It's like where we are in life.
Yeah.
We think we want something, but we don't. We're already there.
Or
Uh,
maybe we think we're at where we're at,
yeah.
and we don't
I can
know.
see a sequel
More.
to this movie lighting a fire in someone's ass. I think that's and they did that in this movie too with 22. She's been alive for thousands of years, but she's never been alive. I mean, there's a lot there.
She
I
could
will
have
watch
even
this
been
again.
one of the first souls. Her number is 22.
22. Exactly. I thought that too. I was like, God, she doesn't have a huge number like everybody else. 22. That means she's been there for a bit. I wonder who's 21. 21 comes out. I fucking hate everyone. I thought it was great. It's good. Great. All right.
Good.
So you gave it an 8. I gave it an 8.4. I scored it higher than you did.
We didn't do visuals.
That was in the. That's what we do. That shit's engagement. That's everything.
All
10.
right.
I mean, fucking visuals, man. Motherfucker, engagement. Motherfucker, that's it.
What did I give it? What did I give it for engagement then?
10.
10? Okay, good. Because man, when I was watching it, holy shit, I was like, some of these scenes look real, like a real
Yeah.
place.
You know
Damn,
what?
look damn good. Look damn good.
Let's have it. We're gonna add visuals next year.
All right.
Because should that not be a place?
Well, because I was thinking like visual effects.
Well, visuals and visual effects. Because okay, there's an effect and there's also how a thing looks.
You're right. I think
There's an
visual. You
art
know
to
what?
it.
I think visuals would make it broader because if it is like a smash 'em up movie,
Or
you know,
special
that's about
effects.
special effects, then yeah. Or if it's a
What
a
dreams
drama,
become.
if it's a yeah, if it's a drama, then you know the cinematography or the quality
Yeah.
of the shots or
Visuals.
the lens. Yeah.
Not Wonder
Yeah.
Woman though. We already got a little system here. We'll add
Yeah, yeah,
visuals.
yeah. Well, we're good.
That'll
We're good.
change our
We're good.
metric for a lot of things. But visuals, I'm gonna
We'll put that in the box for man all the way to next year. Fuck, that's a long ways away.
All right, you want to do Wonder Woman, or are we good? Any final
let's
words?
do it. Let's do it, man. I got thoughts that I thought as I'm watching the fucking movie, man.
I got fucking. It's funny. You watched it and I watched it. Then we talked.
Yeah.
Now you know what I mean. It wasn't like I watched it and then I texted you. You had already watched it. You didn't say shit. And then I watched it.
And I've been watching, you know, YouTube videos just ravage it, right? But I don't think my opinion on the movie has changed really from the first time. Because I think some people identified the point but didn't like it. And the point was they were trying to film an 80s superhero movie the way it would have been done in the 80s with 80s tropes today.
I think they're wrong.
Stupid idea.
I think that's wrong. I don't even think that's what this was. I think this was like a bunch of ideas that they put together, threw it against the fucking wall. And like people want to say it's 80s because it's in the title, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's 80s. They only really make 80s references and then they stop.
So the first two opening scenes, right? There's two opening scenes.
There is two opening scenes.
The scene in Themyscira, I liked it. I was cool with it. It felt like the first Wonder Woman movie. You're watching it and it feels like the first Wonder Woman movie. As soon as it gets to the mall heist, it feels like some goofy fan fiction. It was stupid. The bumbling, you know,
it was Ninja. I had the perfect analogy. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze.
The very beginning scene.
Yeah, when you got like Leonardo doing this,
yeah.
and he's like fucking them up, and they're like, "Woo!" And they're like putties.
It was too cutesy. It was too cutesy. Now, are there cutesy scenes in the first Wonder Woman? Yes. When she sees a baby, she's like, "Oh, baby!" I love that scene. I don't know why. I don't know why. I love that scene. How she fawns over a baby. It was just like, damn, she's fucking cool.
It works because she's a fish out of water.
That too, but I've seen women fawn over babies. It's when it, you know, I kind of do the same thing too when I see a cute baby, right? I'm like, oh shit, look at that, it's a cute little baby.
Yeah.
I don't know why I love that scene. It's a quick scene. It's a throwaway almost.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it adds a lot to the character.
It's good.
In this one, she had little cutesy scenes with like other little girls and stuff, and I was just like, I don't know how I feel about that because I didn't like it. And then her taking her thing off and throwing it, and it boomeranging around. I'm like, okay, Captain America.
You know what? I did like that because that's a thing that she does in the TV show.
They did more of that though. They started pulling things from a lot of other the Invisible Jet.
The Invisible Jet. Yeah.
Flight.
Yeah.
I had problems with both of those.
Me too.
But it's more because of narrative and movie physics, and because she never fucking does that shit ever again, right?
Yeah. Well, let's wait. Let me throw something out. Let's break spoilers if you haven't seen it. Basically, Wonder Woman, 1984 is this fucking lady who was in the other movie, has powers and shit, and she's fighting crime, and she accidentally makes a wish to bring her guy back, and other people accidentally make a wish, and then this one guy makes a wish to become the wish master, and a bunch of shit happens, and then the movie fucking ends. Let's go. Let's fuck that movie. Anyways,
So when she wishes for Steve Trevor back,
Makes sense. I thought that made sense.
Yeah, that made sense. But then he shows up in another dude's body.
Why?
Now this is what I thought. I thought,
I
wow.
thought that too.
As soon as he walks in, I was like, fuck, they can't keep this. They do not get to keep this because this is somebody else's body. Unless it was somebody that was like on a fucking, examining table, because they died already or something.
Yeah, or something like that. I thought that would be the story.
And even that would be pushing it.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be the driving thing. I thought she was going to have to give that up.
Because of the guy.
Right. I thought she was going to give it up. One of those things where, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one. That's where they went with. I thought they were going to go to the needs of the one outweigh the needs of the other one, only because this other one didn't get a choice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I
agree.
I thought she would have to come to grips with, not because of losing her powers. I really don't think they should have done that, because the monkey's paw dilemma already came up with the fact that he's in somebody else's body. You're not going to get to keep this.
Yeah, when they went, there was such a feint, because when they did that, I thought when the cheetah lady, when she made her wish to be like Diana, I thought, okay, maybe she's taking from her power, because when she made her wish, it was some twisted version of it, because it's a guy going into, another person's body. So I figured the only way for her to become like Diana, you have to take from her. And that's what I thought. But that's not what was happening at all.
Well, I thought her asking to be like Diana, yeah, she would get the power and everything, but it would turn her into a beast. Right? I thought that would be the trade-off.
Or it was taking from her. I thought it was taking from her, because they already. Well, no, what's taking from her is the fact that Trevor, 100%, when she wishes him away, she gets her powers back.
Well, see, you could have gone a bunch of different ways with this.
You could have, but that's not what happened.
What could have been here was, if you want to keep this wish, Diana, if you want to keep this wish, you have to give up your sense of justice and fairness.
Okay.
And liberty.
Fine. But that's not what happened.
You have to give that up.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's not what happened. She immediately gets stronger as soon as she wishes him away. And I was just like, why did you put him in that body then? Like, why would you do that?
That didn't have to happen then, right?
It didn't have to happen.
They didn't have to do that.
But I was like, why did you do this? And so you're telling me that her powers, she's just going to be just like Diana. So when she asked to be a cheetah, I was like, okay, as long as she's as strong as Diana. Got it. She's not as strong as Diana, because lightning affects her and not Diana. And I was like, what? What
now
the fuck
lightning
is
affects
wrong
her now.
Yeah, and I was like, what is going on here?
The first time she's in bed with Steve Trevor again, I looked over at my girlfriend, I was like, but that's not Steve Trevor.
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking about that the whole fucking movie. I'm like, how are they doing this?
Yeah.
It's not him.
No.
His soul is him, but the body belongs to somebody else who was obviously living a life, because they're fucking talking about all this shit and everything, right?
Hey, he's a handsome guy too. And he had shit, He was a handsome guy. He had all the stuff. I mean, like, he's living a good life,
they said, well, it doesn't look like he had any family or anything like that, right? Well, I guess
they just wrote it off.
But bullshit. And that's writing bullshit, because maybe they had gotten to a point where they're like, fuck, we already filmed most of this shit.
Yeah.
And we're in too deep now. We need to start explaining why this is okay.
But why did they even have to do that to begin with? It was pointless. It was fucking pointless.
It was fucking stupid. It would have been much more powerful if they had kept it, but not done the power loss thing. If the dilemma would have been, honestly, I thought this was what it was going to be. Her having to come to grips with, shit, I can't take the shortcut. I can't cheat somebody else out of their opportunity to live, because I want this thing. Well, at the beginning of the movie. She would have cheated somebody else out of winning the race by taking a shortcut, by doing something that was not fair.
They never brought that back.
They never go back to it.
They just had this scene for no reason.
It's just strained. It's strained.
Yeah.
For them to say, well, the shortcut was her making a wish for Trevor to come back. Well, she only wishes it off because she's losing her powers and has to save the world.
Yeah.
Not because it wasn't fair to the fucking guy that they stole the body from.
It was like, why insert that there? And like, okay, let's move away from that because we're going in circles on that because it's one of the most annoying parts of the movie. I get her losing her fuck. Just say that never existed. I thought it was a good use of structure to make her weak in this one, so she's not too powerful because she was really powerful in that last one.
They could have so if they there's two ways it could have gone. Either the Steve Trevor's in some other guy's body and she needs to fucking deal with that shit, or she's losing her powers because she has Steve Trevor back and she has a responsibility of the world.
Yeah.
You know? Not both.
I agree.
They needed to pick one. Yeah.
But so it was
the power loss was compelling because it does kind of it raises the stakes, right? It's like, oh shit, now she's vulnerable. The problem with that, and which is why I would have rather they gone with the Steve Trevor's and another guy's body route, just no sex, right? None of that shit. The problem with that is we know that she's alive later on.
Yeah.
So the stakes aren't really there.
Yeah.
There's no danger. She's losing her powers. It just means it's going to be a little bit harder. She's going to get nicked and bruised along the way, but she's going to make it. There's no stakes.
It's true.
So really, of the two, I still would have gone with Steve Trevor and another guy's body, but I wouldn't have done the sex scenes. Maybe some kissing scenes.
Well, if they do the other body, again, you would have to change the whole narrative of the story.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't, because you can still have her kicking ass.
No, but you would have to change the narrative of the story. The story is for her to give him up so she could fight the fight to beat the bad guy.
No, they could have together beaten the bad guy, and they needed to come up with a way for Steve Trevor to be integral to beating the bad guy. They could have gone to the end, and then it's like, okay, happily ever after, right? No, Diana, I need to go. I can't be here. This is not my body. And for her to be like, fuck, you're right.
All right. You're right. You wrote that.
And Steve Trevor, he would have been able to see the success because Steve Trevor goes away not knowing whether or not she's actually successful.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, you're right.
So you wouldn't have to give it up. Steve Trevor could have been there to help her or play some part, like, hey, there's something, I have a connection to this and there's a reason why, that it's good that I'm here. It was something, not I can fly a plane.
What would be cool is if he was the villain. Because so he gets wished back and then he kind of wants to stay. He could do good in the world with this. And he's still caught up in man's world, right? Because in World War II, he sacrificed to fucking save the world, right? But it just kept going and there's war. So here's Wishmaster guy. He could, not guy, but like say he could have figured a way to grab the fucking thing, become Wishmaster, whatever fucking dynamic you want. And she has to fight him. How heartbreaking is that? Everyone can have what they want. We could be together forever. World peace. This is what you want. Men doing good. Because in part one, it was men, we don't know what we're doing. We're just trying, And now Trevor has lost his way. And
we need to put a pin in that. You need to write that shit down right now. Are there any other stories that do that? I'm sure there are.
No, well, I mean, thematically, yes. That exists. The hero becomes a villain. That's a thing. They should have used that as a trope. The problem is they wanted to add the cheetah lady. So, and you know what would have worked better? If she was a henchman. That would have worked better. Because that's what she is, really.
You know what? I was down with the cheetah. I was down with that character. I didn't like the nerdy trope, the nerd to awesome trope.
Oh, you mean Michelle Pfeiffer?
The way that it was presented. Michelle Pfeiffer or fucking Electro or fucking anybody that they've done that with them, all kinds of characters.
That's right? Who I thought she was. I was like, oh, it's Catwoman.
But done to death, right?
Yeah.
And you can see it coming from a mile away. I would have rather have just been weak and kind of just maybe, seeing Diana from afar and lusting after that, or not lusting after that, but
wait. Let's go back there. The fuck? She was like, let's have lunch. The way she aggressively wanted to have lunch with her.
That betrayed that lack of confidence.
It did, but
if you lack confidence, you wouldn't do that.
Yeah, right. They're just
when she was going all out on it, I was like, she's not supposed to be confident, but
I thought she was a lesbian. That's what I thought she was going for. And like, no. But to be friends, I want to be like just like you. I want to be your friend. And I was just like, wait, where are we going with this? Like, how did we get there? How
Now,
did we get to this?
I would have liked if she had been working there already for a time
And
and just kind of and
yes,
seeing how much everybody's all about Diana and
yes, not
her not
new.
being as mousy as that or as weak as they put her.
Yeah.
Just kind of like not at that level, right?
Yeah,
And
like
want
people
that.
don't notice her, you know.
Yes. But not
I
in the
could
way not in the way that they outwardly just go out of their way to walk around her when she's fumbling with shit or like to sneer
yeah.
at her and shit. That was too cliche. That was too much for me. Right away I was just like, oh, this is fucking stupid.
It was so much.
But I did like that she got what she wanted. She was getting all this confidence and power and attention. I think that was
Yeah.
the strongest part, that she was getting this attention that she was craving.
Well, no, it's because she learned how to walk in high heels.
Yeah, I saw somebody shit on that too. That, whatever on that. But
That's
my thing
stupid.
was, I was on this ride with her. What she would start out as a friend, but she would have to oppose her to get to keep what she got.
I was okay with that.
Yeah, I was down with that. I was down
I
with
thought
that.
they were gonna twist it too. She took a shortcut, and because she didn't learn that shortcut, maybe
Oh,
maybe that's why she's like this. And but Wonder Woman learned the shortcut. That's why she's where she's at. They didn't make it about those two. It's like, what the fuck were you doing? Because like it almost made it like she was the rival, like in the movie. But then like she's fighting this other fucking guy, and this other guy. It's not even a fight. It's like a Wonder Woman moment, which I thought was ballsy, but sucked.
the
It
fight at
just
the end.
yeah. It
Oh, it
was
was
like
stupid.
yeah, I mean, she fights
Stupid.
Chitara or whatever, and in a stupid way too, because they're like she's immune to lightning, but the cheetah chick has no powers. I guess I don't know, whatever. And then he fights Wish Guy, and Wish Guy's just like,
Shooting wind at her.
I
It
was
was
like,
stupid.
okay. So Wish Guy, his thing is, and I thought this was a cool concept. But they didn't explain it. It's just they showed it, and then he explains it. But it's like you didn't actually give us the logistics of this, because okay, so far he makes you wish, and then he asks for something in return.
Because
But
usually
that
the gem would do that.
Yeah, the gem would do that, and I'm
Yeah,
like, but what the fuck? How did you come to that conclusion? Like
yeah.
there
How
was
do you
no
figure that out?
example of it. It's just he could do it, and then I was like, okay, then if he's okay, so his payment every time he does this, he gets hurt. And I was like, well, how come? Because the crystal doesn't break. He's the crystal.
I think that was what he gave up to become the crystal. Was
All
his
right,
health.
fine. I get a homeless person. I'll give you $500 to hold my hand and wish for my health to be good. And then he does it. And then he now you die. And then like not only did he monkey paw his ass, he still gets his I mean like
Yeah, that should have been an easy fix. That should have been an easy fix.
loopholes up the ass with that stupid power of his. And like I didn't get his motivation. So he wanted to get oil, then he wanted to become powerful, and he wanted more. I'm like, what is it? Wait, what? It's like you didn't write how we got here, how we wanted more.
So there's been some argument about when the kid wishes for his greatness, if maybe that
That's what's
accidentally compelled him,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
blinded him. It was the wish that was making him act go that far.
Yeah.
This is stupid.
If
I
that was the case, then at the very end, he keep going.
My problem was the story went way too big. To the point where how do you how do you reconcile all that shit having happened
Yeah.
and no big repercussions as a result?
Yeah. So I'm America, and Russia just shot missiles at me, and they just so happen to disappear, and I'm cool with it.
No, I'm still shooting the fucking missiles. I'm like, Matt, they were willing to do that shit.
Yeah. I was like, okay, fast forward to
Batman v
Man
Superman.
Man of Steel.
He has access to all kinds of archives and shit, and the only thing he has is a picture from 1918.
I know. It's like, wait, did the world almost fucking end? Like, I mean, shit. Didn't Wishmaster have something to do? I don't know. And it was so, and like at the time, okay, this is how bad this movie was.
Isn't there going to be a record of some woman dressed in gold armor running around the White House fucking people up?
I know. And the gold armor thing, I was fucking livid when they did that.
I was
I was like,
disappointed.
why? But fucking why did you do this?
I was
Like,
disappointed.
what in what comic book are you like, we need gold armor?
I thought, and was fully expecting for Max Lord to mobilize the military against her. And her to have to fight the military out in the desert somewhere with that gold armor by herself, getting into a situation where she's like Asteria, and then finding the will to push through it or something. Not Steve Trevor saving her.
I want to see that movie.
Damn, just coming out and then taking people out, but in a non-lethal way, obviously, right?
Or something, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
That's what I wanted to see.
That I want to see your movie ever. That's a good movie.
I mean, like, the other thing I thought too was if she takes over the Russian military, then she could have people fucking up and you don't feel bad about it.
You know, okay, so in Wonder Woman 1, you have the scene of it's sadness, right? People are escaping, children are fucking dying, and Wonder Woman's like, what the fuck is happening? Why is this everyone cool with it? And Chris Pine's like, we can't save everyone. Holy fuck. And then like they're in no man's land and no one could go there because we will die. That's no man's land. And then Wonder Woman finally says, fuck all of you. I'm solving this shit. No man's land. She fucks everybody up, gives everyone the spirit to fucking fight. That was an epic scene. This did not happen. All of a sudden,
what else we had at the time? We had Afghanistan. So you could have had troops in Russia moving in on maybe some CIA guys in Afghanistan or some shit, or the military in Afghanistan, and her jumping in between them again to stop them from killing each other with the gold armor narratively. You know, something with a gold, and it would have fit what happened in the time. It would have you would have been able to keep it small, you know, because the only people that saw each other were fucking military guys. It was confidential shit, you know. You shut it down. It got broadcast to the whole fucking planet. Diana talked to everybody on the fucking planet.
And everyone's just cool with it. Like, I got $1 million. You know what? I'm gonna wish this shit. Why? Well, why would people? I get people wishing. That's one thing, but everyone's just like, you know what? I don't want.
I renounce it. Yeah.
I was like, how did we get here? There's nothing she could have said that compelled the entire world. And like, you would, once again, it would have been cool if they just did this thing where Cadmus came out at the very end. That'd be the credits.
Oh, that would have been cool.
There are people out there that are coming. We need to murder them.
You know what I thought? Something else I thought too, because I think this was in the late 80s, maybe the early 90s. I thought it was in the 80s. Hands Across America.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I thought
that's what
I thought they were going there. I'm like, why
did
they set this in the 80s? Why did they set this in the 80s? Is what I'm asking myself. They did not have to set it in the fucking 80s. They could have said it now.
Why did they put this in the 80s? But why did they do that?
I don't know. The Stranger Things nostalgia trip.
But they only used it for like
the first 10 minutes of the second opening.
Yeah, dude, it wasn't that much of an 80s thing. Even when they got to it just stopped.
Like the music. I did like the music when she walks into the party. I don't know why it was like I was charged. I was like, all right, some shit's about to go down. Nothing happens.
Dude, there's literally 100. I counted it. 100 minutes of no action.
That's a number that a lot of other people come up with too.
100 minutes.
I didn't mind it at the time because again, I thought they were going with character. I thought the story. I thought for the sake of where it was put in the timeline of movies, it was going to have to be small, right? And I thought it was going to be character driven. And I thought I was going to deal with this dilemma of I got what I want, but I'm not going to be able to keep it.
You know, I thought that too. I thought there was story to be had, but when they go to that lady's office, and then they go to that guy's office, and they go to another office, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like, when why is there dust everywhere? I'm like, I thought this was. I guess they took Detective Comics to the next level. I mean, because they just started discovering. They were discovering shit. I'm like, why the fuck did you have these 3 scenes back to back to back? And it didn't go anywhere. It wasn't like they developed any characters or anything. There was no banter, no conversation. Ah. Ever, what is this movie? It sucked, dude. And like Patty Jenkins gets to write, and it's fucking terrible.
Again, I still feel like it was worth watching once.
Just so I could shit on it. I was excited for this movie.
I was excited. I was fucking hyped, dude.
I still watch Wonder Woman to this day. It's
hyped.
in my repertoire.
I will not watch this movie again.
I will not watch it.
There's nothing in there for me.
I actually said that, but I actually will watch it again.
No, maybe I'll watch it 2 years from now. But
it was pretty bad. It was worse than Suicide Squad, and that was pretty bad.
I haven't seen Suicide Squad. I haven't seen Birds of Prey.
Good. Don't watch Birds of Prey, but watch Suicide Squad.
I've seen Aquaman. I like this movie more than Aquaman.
I don't know about that.
It's just with Aquaman, I could have turned it off and walked away at any moment. This one kept me watching, but I think it was for the wrong reasons.
Well, yeah, it kept you going because you thought they were gonna do something here.
I thought I was fully expecting
that last fucking arc at the end of it, the third act. I was like, ugh, this is terrible.
It was bad. So
when
bad.
she got the fucking armor on, and I was like, but why? Fucking why? Yeah. And I was like, why is this happening? And why is her rope like all of a sudden a thing? Like, because before she, you know what? She did fly in World War I. She breaks the fucking tank in half, and she's up in the air, and the music goes, ah, and I was like, yeah, woman power, you know? But
I thought the gold suit was going to help her fly, maybe, but glide, not fly.
She can fly though. In the comics, she flies a lot.
She flies
all the time.
But I didn't think
she is supposed to be a contender for Superman.
Yes.
Like,
I get it. I get it.
She could fight, but this character cannot fight Superman.
Now, here's my problem with the movie. I mean, now we're getting into like nitpicking, right? I think we're pretty much in agreement. They fucked up the theme.
They didn't know what they were doing. It literally was like a bunch of ideas strung together and thrown at the fucking thing.
Because I could still go with, goofy action and stupid shit happening, right?
But there was not enough.
But I think they fucking ruined the theme by not picking whether and not executing the Trevor in another body dilemma or her losing her powers dilemma. They needed to pick one. But yeah, okay, we're gonna nitpick. I did not like that her rope could be used to
do everything,
catch the bit of air over there, and then pull herself.
That was stupid.
That was stupid.
She caught a bullet and threw it
on low power. She's losing her powers, but she still has the sight and speed of Superman. She's losing her powers, but she can still. Oh, I've only done it with a coffee cup, but now I'm gonna do it the whole fucking plane.
Yeah.
How does she become more powerful as she's losing her powers?
It took her 50 years. She said, "I did this 50 years ago." That's what she said. She said that. I tried it about 50 years ago
with a coffee cup. I missed
the coffee cup, and I was just like, 50 years. I mean, okay.
I think in my head, I was just like, "Are they seriously gonna do the invisible jet?"
Yeah. You know what? When they got in the jet, I knew they were gonna do a visible jet.
Now, I did like the logic behind it. My father found a way to hide the island, so maybe because she is, her father's daughter or whatever.
It was better done in the cartoon. She found it, and I fucking love this thing, because she doesn't need it. They said you can fly, but hey, a girl needs a ride. I thought that. I mean, it was such a throwaway line. You can fly, Diana. What do you need a plane? And then, because she did have a plane in the comics and then in old cartoons, and she could fly too. So it didn't make sense. So when she steals this fucking plane, she's like, I kind of like this thing. It was cool. It was like she was like really, flexing. Like Wonder Woman has done well in that first movie and in the cartoons, and then they fucked this movie up so bad. It's like you didn't understand what you were doing. So this is a sequel to a superhero movie. Name a sequel to a superhero movie where 100 minutes, there's nothing, no action. It's a superhero movie. Let's have a Western with no shooting. for
How long
100
did it take
minutes.
for Bruce Wayne to come back in Dark Knight Rises?
I
Like,
know, right? So Dark Knight, you don't see. That's another gripe too. Wonder Woman doesn't show up that much. You really don't see her do much, and Batman only comes out like twice, I think, or 3 times. But there's action happening.
Yeah, I kept thinking about
Dark Knight is a
you know,
good
I
one.
wasn't missing. I really wasn't missing it that much because I really thought they were digging into this question. I was really interested in Diana getting back Steve, but dealing with not getting to keep him.
All I saw was redundant scenes. Like, why are we
But that's
here?
all that
Why we're
ended up
here?
happening. That's all we got. And it was more like waiting for it and waiting for it. When are we gonna get to the fireworks factory for
And I
Simpsons?
didn't understand the villain's motivations, and he's pivotal to the fucking story. And they just linked him to his kid, and it was like there was nothing there. You didn't link him to I mean, fuck, you did not do much with this kid.
See, and I thought he was gonna wish for his
Him,
business to become powerful, and I thought he was gonna try to find a way to hide that stone. Now him wishing to become the stone was a way to hide it, I guess.
no, it was. I don't even know what they were doing, but it would have been cool.
I don't know why he decided to wish to become the stone, though.
It would have been cool if he got powerful. This is a trope. He got powerful and he had to fucking protect Cheetah's story.
Yeah.
And he's trying to protect it. And he's making people paying people to wish for shit so they get fucked up in some weird way. And that's how he protects his shit. And she's helping him do this. And I thought that was pretty cool, but they didn't do that.
And Diana would have told him, hey man, it's a shortcut. It's a cheat.
Yeah.
And you can't keep it. Yeah. And that would have brought you back to the beginning.
I think Chris Pine would have been and he's a good actor too, by the way. In his own rights, he would have been able to pull this off. If he was the villain, that's would have been it made. They just wanted more actor gravitas. They needed more people. Pedro fucking Pascal, and then you got your fucking whatever the fuck her name is, Kristen Wiig. But if Chris Pine was the villain, it would have been that much more heartbreaking to stop the guy you love and a reason to keep him in there. Maybe more than 3.
Max Lord does become a thing later on.
Max Lord is a thing. He is a thing in the comics. He's the poor man's Lex Luthor.
Yes.
And she kills him. She breaks his neck, and that creates a rift. Yeah, that creates a rift in the Trinity.
Stories. Yeah.
Yeah, it like they're like, I can't believe you did this shit. How dare you? You fucking you betrayed. And she feels guilty about doing it. And that's this character development. I thought that was pretty cool. But as far as
that was I think that was Identity Crisis, right?
Identity Crisis, yeah. But it doesn't matter. It just doesn't, because it just Max, he's like a poor man's Lex Luthor. He just is.
Yeah, they didn't have to use him.
No, they didn't. But he is a famous Wonder Woman villain.
A problem that I had too was Pedro Pascal. He's given 110% to this role.
Kristen Wiig too. I think those two people are great actors.
I like Kristen Wiig, even though she was just playing Kristen Wiig for the first part of it. But with Pedro Pascal, the problem that I had with him, it wasn't with him. He's playing a lot of scenes against this kid. I'm sorry, kid. You need to go get some acting lessons or something. You are not compelling.
Most kid actors suck unless they're being abused. Well, and you can tell that kid had a good life because he's not being abused enough.
The younger you go, the harder it is to find an actor that'll work, right?
Tell that to Drew Barrymore.
The kid didn't no shit. Well, that's exceptions to the rule. But if you didn't have to lock yourself in on an age, really, they could have gone and looked at a bunch of kids and tried to find a compelling one, and then just made the kid that age.
Any age would have worked.
Could have been 10, could have been 11, 13. Could have been 7.
Could have been a teenager.
You could have been a teenager. You find a kid that's going to be able to take this material and connect with somebody as intense as Pedro Pascal, who could be an intense father through less than intense voice acting as the Mandalorian, or who could be an intense father figure as a fucking full on, like, I love you, you're gonna be proud of me.
He wasn't loving to that kid, period, though. Like, there was nothing written for him to love that kid. In fact, he was such a dick to that kid. There's such a shift. Like, okay, so if he felt guilty, if they wrote scenes for him to feel guilty, he did feel guilty in this one scene when he said some shitty thing, but it wasn't enough. It has to be like some hardcore guilt or something like that, because it's like they wrote something, but they didn't earn it. You know, like
meet his kid, and 30 seconds later, he's having to defend himself from his kid. We didn't get to see them be father and son.
Yeah.
We didn't really get to witness any of that. The only scenes we saw were the kid waiting for him in the lobby or this and that. And the kid's pretty flat. And when he does make wishes, like, I just want you to be with me, then I wish for your greatness. And I'm not feeling it. No. I'm not there. And Pedro Pascal's like all worried, like, shit, what's it gonna take from him? And the kid's just like, you know, but Pedro Pascal's like full on, like, fuck, you know, like, what?
The way he pushes him, I thought that was funny. He goes, what the fuck are you doing? Don't waste your one wish on me.
Yeah, he's like, don't, yeah. Shit, that was it.
Well,
I was interested in that, but god damn it, that kid's acting took me out of it. It reminded me I was watching a movie with the kid acting in it.
That whole fucking movie took me out of it. And then what did you think of the mid-credit scene? It was so stupid. That's like, fucking why? So what are you trying to do? You're trying to build a fucking franchise of like Marvel, and then, okay, you have your mid-credit scene, and it's fucking Wonder. Who fucking cares? It's like they layered it. That's Alistair. I get it.
Asteria. Oh, Alistair's the kid.
Whatever. You know what I mean? The names are too similar. But why? But fucking why? What does it do? What does it accomplish?
I was okay with it, but I'm not looking forward to an Asteria movie.
That's not what they're going for.
The stingers in Marvel, which we have to compare it to because that's what they're fucking copying. The stingers from Marvel usually tie into some other movie or another character. They build the universe out, not something within your story. Asteria coming back is within your story.
But like, what was it for? It was fucking pointless. She stopped a fucking thing of wood. I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, winking into the fucking camera.
Why? Like, who are you winking to? I would have been.
I thought it was okay. I was like, oh hey, it's Linda Carter. But that's the problem. I didn't look and say, oh shit, it's Asteria. She's still alive. I said, no, that's Linda Carter.
Yeah. But that shouldn't have been a mid-credit scene. That should have been a scene. That's like, okay, for instance, the Hulk and or not Hulk, the original Hulk coming out in a fucking thing, or like Tobey Maguire. Hey,
I thought it was okay, but the problem that I see is that it locks you into, now you better do something with Asteria, otherwise it's just a thing hanging out there. Now, if you don't go back to that and you don't shoehorn her into the next movie, we're going to be asking, hey, all this other shit's going on. Where's Asteria at?
I don't care. It's stupid. It was a stupid scene. It just was. And then there was another scene that was just like that in the beginning of the second intro is, all right, she's doing all this shit. She's fucking Ninja Turtles, Secret of Ooze, fucking people up in the mall. And then she's playing with that black girl. And then she throws the black girl, and then she fucks somebody up, and then she does this to the black girl. She goes, shh, like that. And I'm like, what are we shushing about? Every fucking person can see you and hear you.
And yeah, she took out those cameras, but she didn't go back and take out the cassettes that recorded whatever.
Or the eyeballs of the people who saw you.
She should have thrown it. Just like gouged.
She should have took the fucking rope, throw it around their necks, and then they all just and she goes, shh. And the girl's like,
I thought
that was my mommy.
I thought that was so stupid. I was like, it's a child. They're not gonna keep it a secret.
When I first saw it, I was like, oh, they're gonna go camp, and they stopped. After that, they just stopped.
Captain America does it in Winter Soldier. He's visiting the museum. He's kind of
that's different. Those fucking different.
That was cool because he's and the kid's like,
because he had a hat. He was hiding. What if Captain America was a full Captain America outfit and he's throwing his fucking sheets? He's like, look at me.
Okay.
He goes, I'm Captain America. And then he goes like this to a kid. Shh, I'm Captain America. Like screaming that shit. Look, you can't see me
through the shield of Captain America.
Fucking stupid, because she just goes, shh. I'm like, I would have been like, bitch, did you just not just fucking throw your tiara, rope, and all that shit? I mean, you fucked those dudes up. And I was like, all right. That was so stupid. So the guy grabs the kid and throws him over the thing. And I'm like, what's your game plan here, bud? I mean, like, what do you, why? But why?
Well, that was the other thing too. I mean, if you wanted stakes, you don't give us a bunch of bumbling, stupid asses that don't know what to do and don't have an exit plan, right?
Yeah.
If
They
you
just
want
walked
stakes,
out.
They should have been some covert ops looking dudes, you know. Some
They were old, middle-aged men.
Just some random fucking dudes. Now you could say, okay, well, Max Lord hired these guys, and he doesn't have a whole lot of money to hire the best, so that's why he hired a bunch of jerk offs, right?
You could say that.
But again, we're writing the story for Patty Jenkins.
Exactly. They could have led us there with the writing.
Right.
You know what's funny? All right. Man, dude, we can't stop shit on this movie. All right. So there's this random Aztec guy. His grandfather's grandfather kept the record of some shit. And I was like, wait, what? Why is this a fucking thing? Like, why is this guy in this movie? There was no reason for this. And every civilization has been destroyed afterwards. And I was like, that's our stakes. That's our stakes, people. I didn't need that at all. At all. You didn't need it.
The problem, again, the problem with this is that we know they're going to live. We know they're going to survive. We know the world's going to be okay. That could not have been the stakes. It should have been, again, I really think they should have driven home this thing about not getting to keep Steve Trevor.
Yeah, dude, that should have been really the entirety of the story. And then have your classic villain fight. By the way, they should have had a classic villain fight. Here you got Wishmaster, dude. I mean, there's some shit he could do, right? I mean, like, he did it. But, I mean, he's the Wishmaster. It's Pedro fucking Guy. I mean, he could... He's in the Mandalorian. You're telling me this guy can't fight? I mean, I'm not saying that he can. There's other people.
He's the Viper. He's the Viper.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, why can't there be a fight between him and her with Wishmaster powers?
Yeah, he could have gone to like a Kung Fu master and a Taekwondo master.
Yeah, it could have been like Wonder Woman working her ass off trying to fuck him up, but he's just too cosmic. Cosmic because it's a sequel. So you give us like a visual. You give us visuals.
The story needed to be smaller, though. The story needed to be way
smaller. Why?
Why? No, I'm saying it didn't need to be worldwide.
Oh, yeah. Well, like, no. Just this movie. Okay, Wonder Woman was kind of smaller if you think about it. I mean, yeah, the world and all that shit. But really, the only people having this thing is really Ares right there. And you know what I mean? It's not like encompassing the world, explosions and shit like that. But it was pretty fucking epic when that motherfucker came out. God, I just want to watch Wonder Woman again because that was an epic fight. And then
a lot of people shit on that fight. I don't have a problem with it.
No, there's nothing wrong with that fight. It's epic. When she fucking beats her fucking shit and beats fucking homeboy, I was all about it. Yeah. All I give a shit about is why couldn't it have been an epic fight with Wishmaster? It said we have this badass, shitty Black Panther fight.
Yeah, I would have thought he would have tried to, yes, become more powerful, but do it in a way where he's for the writing and for himself. The character could have been like, I got to keep this shit on the down low. I don't want people knowing that I'm the Wishmaster.
Yeah, he could have it could have been him protecting the stone to give him all the power of all power. I mean, it could have just been him in his building protecting his power. And it could have been a fight in his building or some shit like that, like a skyscraper, Ghostbuster style. But it didn't. It was some kind of a stupid,
it was dumb,
contrived plot of particles touching people, touching him. I don't know.
When they said that, I was just like this. Oh God. Okay, it's a comic book movie. It's a comic movie. Okay. We're gonna stick with the Steve Trevor thing.
No. When they did that, when they said that line, I instantly thought this is a group of people writing who have never read a comic book, who have never watched the Marvel movies. Literally, whoever made this movie doesn't watch shit, doesn't watch shit. To be a good creative, like Dave Filoni is in his basement watching
shit
for the 13th time Farscape or some shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some miscellaneous fucking sci-fi flick. You know, that's who makes good shit. Jon Favreau, as ugly as he fucking is probably in his basement watching fucking over and over and over his own episode of Clone Wars when he's playing the leader of Death Watch. That is who's making the good shit. People who make bad shit are the people who are not making movies, living life, just living in the life.
Well, and they're not acknowledging that there's value in other people's work. They think that they know the way, and that their vision is the correct one. Where, you know, again, just like the cultural trust with Soul, they had to acknowledge that they don't know everything. You know, they may think they're doing right by the people that they're writing about, but they're not. You know, and if you acknowledge that, then you could bring in other people to point out, hey, you know what, this might not be the right way to go with this thing.
I think that's genius, dude. I mean, like, to have a consultant on culture as opposed to just a war consultant, a military consultant, presidential, a ninja consultant, a fighter consultant. You have a cultural consultant. What they should have had is a comic consultant.
A comic consultant.
I mean, like that. Duh. I mean, like, shit. Well, don't you think?
A comic consultant, but I think just fucking a goddamn character consultant.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It just
and they were shadows of themselves. Like Chris Pine wasn't Chris Pine. I mean, he wasn't that character in the movie. He wasn't not that guy. He was a shadow. Wonder Woman was a shadow of herself, you know? And that's it really from the returning cast. Everyone else were just kind of like superficial characters who were just in a movie playing the parts that they have to play.
Now, Diana, you could say she changed because of her experiences on Earth, right? Yeah, she was the same person for a long time on Themyscira, but because she was around the same culture and the same set of values. Now it's, you know, she's in the world now interacting with people, and so she's changing. The same way that Thor changed. But the problem that is, you know, with Thor, we saw him change throughout 10 years of movie.
Yeah.
And this one, we need to see her change from one movie to the next.
Well, she's in other movies, though. If you think about it, you got Wonder Woman, you got Batman versus Superman, and then you got this, and Justice League.
But Thor's progression from Shakespearean, you know, hero.
No, I agree. Hey, no. Don't try to fucking. That's good writing.
That's good writing, but it's also chronological.
No, it's also writers recognizing other writers.
Yes.
And then coming, like, it wouldn't make sense for Thor Ragnarok to be in Thor 1. It wouldn't make sense for Thor 2.
For Thor Ragnarok to have been 2. Like, to go from
or
Thor
whatever,
1 to Ragnarok.
Whatever.
Been like, wait, what the
or
fuck?
Avengers
like
2.
Way too hip now.
Yeah, or Thor Ragnarok in Avengers. I mean, like, there's different movies.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense. Now, you have Wonder Woman, you have Justice League, you have all these other movies.
Again, I think you missed the point that I was going to make.
No, I see what you're saying. It's different times and everything like that. But, like, you have to extract from what the character is in all these other movies and then try to see where your start off point is.
Yes. Yeah.
And then, like, go from there, because you have a movie that begins, it's Genesis, and then you have a movie where she ends. So you have at least the end in the beginning. So you just have right in between. Not some kind of weird mishmash, like this character then becomes that, you know, it doesn't make sense. Or this character became this. What? It doesn't make sense. It's just like an alternate dimension. In fact, the next Wonder Woman should be like her waking up and it's a different movie, you know, like just rewrite the whole fucking movie. Oh, I had this weird dream about a Wishmaster and it's 2 intros and me with the Ninja Turtles.
And a lot of people think that they should have dumped the first intro. I think I like the first intro. That would have tied everything together if they'd have gone with the Steve Trevor route and her changing the Wishmaster's mind about, you know, cheating to get ahead. The mall scene is the one that I was just like, and her like doing random superhero stuff in broad daylight, in full costume.
Yeah.
Out on the street.
I was gonna let that go.
I was gonna let it go too, as camp.
Then Wishmaster came out, and then she made a plea to the entire world, and no one remembers her. Like, you would think that'd be a pretty significant thing. In fact, all human history would kind of surround her.
It's like the movie wants us to not take it seriously sometimes and then take it seriously some other times. And I'm like,
It's basically, we wrote a shit movie, but they'll take it too seriously, but only take us seriously when we tell you to.
right.
That's bad writing. It just is. Pick a lane. All right, let's go. Let's bring this to a close. Rewatchability. 0.
No, I said I'll probably watch it again sometime way in the future to remind myself. Because I did enjoy it as I was watching it, but I kept getting taken out of 3.
I give it a 1. I'll watch it again, but that's about it. All right, story, plot.
4.
I give it a 1.
Because there was elements of there was
atrocious. It was atrocious.
There was starts of good things.
Mm-mm.
But they didn't finish it. It wasn't even like an execution thing. It was just like hey, we're going this way and fuck it.
Hey, I like Gal Gadot. She's cool. All because you have her doesn't make it good.
Yeah, I thought her
same
acting
thing
was
with story. Because you have story elements, you don't go anywhere. It doesn't make it good at all. It's
no. Yeah, well, I don't think
it's it's a negative. It's a negative for me. If you introduce something and don't finish,
if I go sub 5, it's a negative. When I go below 5, that means it's a negative.
I hear you. I gave it a 1.
All
right. Score, the music. It had 80s music. I actually own a lot of the 80s music in there.
I give it a 6.
6? All right. I give it a 5.
I give it a 6. Hans Zimmer stuff in there was good at the beginning. But
yeah, that intro in the beginning. And you know what? No, I give it a bigger number because they played. It's why did they do this? Batman versus Superman. You know the scene where the music kind of ramping down, and it's like I guess Bruce Wayne coming to a conclusion or something like that, or Batman coming to a conclusion, and there's like this downbeat. They actually play it in the beginning of Batman versus Superman as they're walking. It's a song. You should check it out. But it's that song that is in Wonder Woman.
Oh, I'll check it out.
At the very end, when she's trying to get Pedro, she's doing the lasso of truth on him. They're playing that song. The beginning of Batman versus Superman. Yeah, it's great. I heard that. I looked at my kid. I was like, "What the fuck is this song doing in here?"
So I like that they used her theme.
Yeah, kinda.
That was the problem. It was like they teased us by starting it and then immediately walking away from it.
In fact, they didn't play her theme at all. They didn't play her theme at all.
They did. They just
kinda
like the first 3 or 4 seconds of it, and then
the little girl was
they deviated.
Yeah, when the little girl was doing her thing.
When she starts running at the tanks, they play her song.
Yeah, but then that was like a remix.
Yes, and there could be an argument out there because I when I watch Batman v Superman, she drops down and her music starts playing. Every single time I get chills.
Yeah, it's
every
good.
single
and then
time.
In the movie, it's good. In her own movie, it's good.
In the first one, yes. The other times it hasn't been as good. But the thing is, I mean, somebody could say, well, the first time you heard it, that's because it was the first time you heard it. No, I've watched it again since then.
I recently watched Batman versus Superman.
It's still good. When she shows up.
Yes.
And her fighting is fucking awesome. Here they started playing and I was like, cool. Now, and then the music goes away and then the action gets stupid. And I'm like,
it's like they knew what they made, a shit product. They fucking did. And then it's funny too, because like if you watch the Google reviews and Rotten Tomatoes, it had a high score and now it's not certified fresh. It went below that.
Yeah,
even the fucking woke justice warriors are saying it's bad. And that's fucking hilarious.
I would still say that it's worth watching. Oh, because fuck, you know, the whole thing of lacking consent of the body that Steve Trevor walked into, you know, and the whole thing of Gal Gadot not considering that.
No, they're shitting on it too. They've been getting shit.
That's what I'm saying.
But no, because the woke crowd has been talking shit about good stuff. and everyone else is like the audience score is way higher, and everyone's seeing through their bullshit. So now they're kind of like, maybe we should start reviewing these things like they
Oh
should.
yeah.
Yeah. So like maybe we should like say Dave Chappelle's good. Maybe
Yeah.
we should say Bill Burr is good. You know, maybe
Yeah,
we
because nobody
should.
was listening to them anymore.
Yeah. Why would
It was
I?
like, man, you just shit on everything.
Yeah. You just know you shit on good stuff just because of your fake virtual signaling. Because it's like you like these men who say, "Oh yeah, you should respect a woman." I guarantee you, behind closed
It
doors,
was like
they're beating on their women.
it was like that Sarkeesian, was it blogger or whatever,
That
tried shitting
lady.
on Mandalorian for the chest armor.
Oh, why?
That so now they have to have boob armor. Why do we have to sexualize their boob armor?
Who had boob armor? Oh, the Mandalorian chicks. They had boob
Yeah.
armor. Oh, I guess. I mean,
Barely.
I didn't even notice until you said it.
Watch it again, and you're just like, that
Oh.
argument is fucking stupid.
Yeah, you know
have
what?
boobs.
Yeah, you know what? Feminists do that. They go too hard, and it gets to a point where it's like kind of like they're more perverted than you. Like you would.
Yeah,
think,
it was like, well, I wasn't even seeing that. Okay.
Yeah, like I wasn't even thinking that. Like they go to a thing where they're like, "Oh, that obviously means dick," and you're like,
But that's why you're wrong, Kevin. You weren't even thinking about it because it's so ingrained in our society to not even consider this.
Yeah, basically
unfair to the opposite.
Like I didn't even think about that until you said that. I'm like, I guess it is boob armor. All right, how about engagement?
Again, it was engaging for the wrong fucking reasons. Because I was into it, but I was into it from the point of a person taking apart a story. I wasn't in the movie.
That's not engaged. That means you're disengaged from the movie.
I was engaged with the writing. I was engaged with the ideas behind it. I was wondering myself why.
You're waiting for the next thing.
What's going on? I wasn't engaged with I wasn't in the film. You know, like I wasn't.
That's not engagement.
Yeah, but it's the wrong kind of engagement.
Because we've talked about this.
I'll give it a 5 because, again, I was thinking about it. I was intrigued at the question of, you know, again, Steve Trevor being in somebody else's body and, you know, them not getting to keep that gift because it was taken from somebody else, but they never went with it. So like for the first half of the movie, I'm like, oh, this is going to be cool. This is wrong. And they shouldn't be doing this. How are they going to reconcile?
Yeah. I mean,
they never did.
Know this, that you rated this movie lower than Tenet.
Good.
At 4.2.
Okay, what did I give Tenet? Like a 6 or 7?
So, yeah, it's 6.
Good.
I gave this movie a 2.6. It's all those ones. No, you know what? Okay, hey, look, this movie was terrible. It was terrible in many ways because they didn't know what they were doing. They treated this character with disrespect. They thought they could do whatever they wanted, and that was their failing, you know. And now everyone is kind of like, fuck this shit, you know. Like you lost your virtual signaling. You lost that card. And then I wanted them to say that this movie was good, and if you didn't like it, you were a sexist. Problem. Most people that are hating on this are women too. So, but I really wanted this movie to signal for all the people who use this as a crutch. They'll say, you don't like it because there's diversity.
I think those arguments are starting to go out the window because especially the one
finally hate Star Wars 8.
Oh, because it's a strong female character. No, because there's people that loved the first Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah.
That are shitting on the second one. It's not because of a strong female character, you know, and that argument's been ripped to shreds already. It's how was the character written? What was the story? What was the narrative? Was it compelling? What was the theme? Were we shitting on guys just to shit on guys? Were we really highlighting real inequities that are experienced?
Yeah. It's like, can I finally hate Star Wars 8? Can I hate Star Trek Discovery? Can I hate Picard? I mean, they did that with Star Trek. They were like, you don't like Star Trek because you're racist. And I'm like, wait a minute, whoa. If you watch Star Trek, it's very diverse. I mean, like, yeah, I don't see any KKK members like, oh man, I love Star Trek. You know what I mean? It's fucking terrible.
Yeah. So 4.2 and 2.6, 2.7.
That's pretty low. That's the lowest rated movie we've seen this year. And I've seen
Yeah,
some
I was
whoppers.
immediately disappointed at the end of it, but I was glad that I watched it.
I wanted to see it so bad, and then when it was over, I was like, I fucking hate whoever made this movie. And
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. I still don't think I
4.2 says
hate it.
otherwise.
I think, well, that's not hate. You know, hate's strong.
4.2.
Again, I still think people should watch it, but if not to draw out this idea of, you know, having a great thing, you know, because it would have been so different. The character gets what they want, but they're not going to get to keep it, you know. And somebody as sympathetic as Wonder Woman, you want her to get to keep this thing, but she can't, you know, and you know that she can't. And at the end, she does the right thing, and not because it's like the world on one hand and Steve Trevor on the other. No, somebody you don't even. How heroic would that be? How virtuous would that be? Somebody you don't even know on the one hand, and the love of your life on the other, and you still make the decision to benefit the person you don't even know because you're a hero and you have a sense of justice and fairness, and you know that it would be wrong to take this from somebody, even though you don't know who they are. I think that would have been much more powerful.
For that to happen, you would have to do more writing for Trevor to make him more likable. Because
no. Wonder Woman carries it. Wonder Woman carries it because there were some lines that really hit with me. She's like, you know, finally I have this thing, and that she said something to the effect of, you know, like, I've never asked for anything, you know, like this one thing, the only thing that I've ever asked for, the only thing that I've ever wanted, and I have it now, you know. That would have been so much stronger because it is easier to let go of that if the fate of the world is at stake. But
see,
not if the fate of your own soul, your own sense of right and wrong is at stake.
The problem with that narrative of I want something more than the world, she has to have a shitty life for us to resonate with that. So far, she's rich, she's beautiful, she's kicking ass, taking names, she's everything, but she just wants this one thing.
No.
That story does not play out.
We know good people in our lives that deserve good things and don't get them. Wonder Woman at the end of the first movie is a good person who's doing good things, and we wish we could be like her. Put aside the powers and the tension and the beauty and all that other superficial shit. She's still somebody that we see as having it all, but still feels empty because of what she lost. You know,
that lens doesn't work
in war.
That doesn't work because she has to for thematically, for that to work, it has to be she's a drunk or her life is terrible, because like that only plays out in those themes.
So you didn't feel bad for her at the end of the first Wonder Woman movie when Steve Trevor dies?
Not really. I mean, it sucks that it happens, but it works. And it works and you're okay with it. It's not like I hurt.
Yeah, I think that would have been enough. But I think with the scenes that she has with Steve, especially at the end where she has to let him go, I was feeling it.
No, they treated her too godly. Like, they didn't want to trash the character. If they really wanted to really write a character, treat her like a human being. Humans don't react to bad things well. Humans go bad when bad things happen. They don't go good.
And then that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see the conflict within her, the possibility of making a bad choice, of keeping Steve Trevor, you know, by not renouncing her wish and being tempted to make that choice.
It would have to be something bad and over time. I'm telling you, nothing beats time. Nothing beats a person than time. Like, the best way you could use that thematically, and they've done it, is Last of Us. You got this great guy, great dad, loses his kid, goes through hell for 20 fucking years. You can see it. It's like he goes from like brown to white hair, and then he gets this chance to fucking get with this chick and hates her begrudgingly, then falls in love with her in the you know, father-daughter sense, and gets the second chance and has the fate of the world and this girl. And of course, he chooses the girl. And that's more human than saying, I'm just good. And she's a god, right? So she can make that choice. But to demonstrate that for us to resonate with that character, you have to give her a starting point of sorrow. So they should have did this. They didn't have the balls to do it. It's just have Gal Gadot not have a good life. Her life sucks. And then everything works together, but you can't have that because you created this virtuous feminist woman.
I would have liked, because in was it Justice League, I think she talks about walking away from the world.
They could have got deeper with this. They could have got deeper with it.
It could have been her just like not giving a shit about what's going on.
Yeah.
And never coming back to teach her, hey, the world is still worth fighting for.
She never learned the lesson in the first movie. It doesn't make sense that she's just all about saving the world and shit like that. It just doesn't. It's such a big leap for her to get there because she just lost the love of her life. Apparently, if you're going to tell me that's the love of her life, we're going to go this direction. If I lost the love of my life, I'm not a happy camper. And she's immortal, so it's even worse. I mean, Logan gets it done. I mean, his life sucks. He lost his people.
Yeah, they shouldn't have had her do superhero shit at the beginning of the movie. Yeah, that would have been better.
She would have been sad and like maybe guilty.
Sat through World War II? No, fuck you guys. You didn't learn it the first time? You're fucked.
Fuck you guys. Yes. And then it's just like the whole movie is her just like feeling kind of guilty that she could have saved somebody, but fuck them, you know? And she's getting drunk, and then then Trevor comes.
She doesn't need to get drunk. Just isolated. Just the sense of isolation and just apathy. Maybe not even apathy, just like not wanting to intervene.
I guess to relate to characters, I think that some substance abuse is the way to go because it's more real. Because people don't.
You don't gotta go.
In some way,
I think more real. I think isolation is more real, or fucking those lost souls. You know,
isolation. But you need something to fill that void, and that's what they do. They use substances, food. Maybe she was fat. That would have been dope. Something. Not just like isolating. It has to be something that is bad for her that's filling her void. I know it's bad not helping people, but like something selfish for her. Like,
okay,
she keeps buying shit. I don't know. Maybe she's buying a bunch of shit and living a lavish lifestyle, but watching people her fellow man just get fucked over. You know, I don't know. Something. I don't know. I think that it's easier to force drugs or booze. But like just her not giving a shit about, yeah, you're right. That would work. Her not giving a shit, but I don't know, just really putting her through the ringer. And then when you introduce Trevor, he's like, what the fuck happened to you? This is not the person I love. And in fact, it would have been more powerful if he did not love her afterwards. I don't like this person that you are.
Ooh.
That would
have been beginning. Powerful. It's the honeymoon part because they're back together again.
Yeah.
And then the longer he's there, the more he's like, hey, this shit's going on. You're not going to do something about it?
This isn't you, you know? Yeah. And then like him be like, hey, wish me out of here. This isn't you. I don't like you. I don't want to be alive in this world without.
And then it could go back to the themes that they talked about at the beginning of Wonder Woman, because the big thing in Wonder Woman was Steve Trevor was a bit more of a realist in terms of, hey, there's good and bad people.
Yeah.
You know, there's good and bad people. Shit happens. You know, Wonder Woman was like, no, all men are good. They're all good. They're just corrupt.
She was naive. She was naive.
And so she could have taken on what he left her with was this other view, because I did like her naive view.
Yeah, no, it made sense, right? It was like, no. It's Ares. You're not bad. You're not bad. And then the guy goes, I don't know what we are. I'm just here. But don't give up on us.
Yes.
You know, that's what he says to her. I watch Wonder Woman a lot, so I remember a lot of the things that he says. And I thought that was great. A great line. Oh, well, we're rewriting shit that didn't happen. That's where we're at. Fuck. I don't know what the fuck they did. They got drunk off their own Kool-Aid. They didn't respect the character at all. They did the thing where they say, oh, well, yeah, I totally respect the material. No, you didn't. No, you fucking didn't.
They respected the material by bringing back the visible jet and having her fly. That's not respecting.
They respected the material by fucking adding tropes, not diving deep into the character.
I think they could.
There's a reason why Wonder Woman's around 50, 60 years, 70 years later. You know what I mean? Damn.
Yeah, I think they set themselves up with a couple of good things. I think with some more time, and I think with more pushback, because Warner Brothers was saying, "Hey, these 2 openings is a bit much, don't you think?" She came and said, "No, I don't think so." And they were like, "Okay."
Well, even if he
that's
took
how
out
much control she had. That's how much control she had. That's how much they gave her.
So that gives you a lens on how much of the writing she did. Shit.
Well, and how and it's this whole backlash about like people are afraid to oppose, for some PC or woke thing, they don't want to be perceived as an oppressor. So they don't push back as hard as say they did on George Lucas back when he was doing Star Wars.
And it sucks too, because on George Lucas, they should have oppressed him in the first 3 movies, because it would have been a better movie, because he has ideas. He just needed a little Dave Filoni or someone to push back on him.
No, he was the Dave Filoni back then, because he's the guy that's living in the universe.
John Favreau.
He needed a John Favreau. He had that. It was Irving Kershner in Empire Strikes Back, but then he doesn't come back for Empire Strikes Back, and George Lucas takes more control in the Jedi, Return of the Jedi.
I think the whole first 45 minutes
episode 1, 2, and 3. I think.
Yeah. Hey, did we talk about this? The whole I watched this thing. I don't know where, but so I don't think we did talk about this. So Luke Skywalker, Return of the Jedi, right? Sees his dad, went through this experience, and he goes, let me look upon you with my own face, but you'll die.
With my own eyes.
He goes, but you'll die. And he goes, just, let's do this. And then he does it, and he sees his son, and then dies, taking off his helmet, and then sees his dad die. That's a big deal, right? Then fast forward, Luke Skywalker, in his brain, he sees another father-son couple, and he sees the Mandalorian take off his mask, and then he sees this. And so everyone doesn't really grasp this concept, but Luke, with the Force, his own dad, he's fucking going through some shit. And he's just like, oh my God, I thought that was cool.
I obviously the acting couldn't come through, right? I think John Favreau said, we couldn't bring too many people in on this project specifically because we were trying to keep
the big reveal.
Right? Does Luke acknowledge the connection between Mandalorian and Grogu? I thought he did. I want to say he did. I see you have a strong connection to him or whatever. Something.
He wants your permission.
Okay.
He says that. But
it's because it would have been cool to have like a little subtextual, like
father-son,
like a look from Luke, like acknowledging it.
Like a tear? That would have been tight if
not a tear, but another way for him to show that he's thinking back.
He sees his dad die, and he takes off his mask to see his son, before he died. He doesn't have to die necessarily. He dies to just look at him. He goes, hey, you already saved me, man. Just let me look at you. Which, and then they're there in the moment, and they fucking take off his mask, and then he sees him. And I thought that was pretty tight. And then he sees the same fucking thing, and he takes off his fucking mask. He's got the Force, by the way. So he probably knows what the fuck is going on. Yeah, he can feel this shit, And he took off his fucking mask to say goodbye to his son. That had to have been deep. That had to dug deep. And Jedi, they feel emotions too. Deeply.
And it happened in front of Luke Skywalker. That's not an accident. That's not an accident.
Exactly, right? Right? Fucking right?
It's not an accident. We talked about the Mandalorian already, huh? We did?
Yes, but what? I just didn't bring that up.
No, man. I didn't want to rehash it, but God damn it.
No, I didn't want to rehash it, but I heard that tidbit on a podcast with Kevin Smith, and I was like, Whoa.
Yeah, that's good.
That blew me away.
Good
All right.
take.
Well, I mean, end of the year, I was gonna, what I wanted to do was rehash like events, but fuck it. Who cares?
We can
2020.
do that too. We can do that next week.
Yeah. It'll be the
Because
next
then
year.
it'll officially be over. A
Let's
lot
look
can
at-
happen in the next 2 days, man. We
That's
got
true.
crazy
That's
stuff
true.
to
I got
cover.
some videos queued up, not now, but I mean, I could cue some like big
yeah.
explosions and shit. So, well, I mean, Happy New Year, Eber,
Happy New Year to you, man.
to you. Let's drinking some expensive. Yeah. 2020 has been a rough year. A lot of bad things. That's all. And then, then you got a new president. And it's funny because our podcast was very influenced by political things. And it's funny because in this podcast, we really got nerdy. And I thought we were more nerds than political dudes, but it seems to be we're in shit.
We're in it.
Fuck.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun to go back to that. Just that.
Just
like
nerds, or
I feel going back to just nerds, and
because that's what we are.
And the politics will be more like, well, I think it should be 15% the tax rate. No, I think it should be 16.5. Well,
Yeah.
That's where we're gonna be. That's normal.
Well, I mean, I think that because for the last 3 podcasts we just talked about nerd shit. So I mean, like, it made sense that we're nerds. It just so happens there was nothing. It was fucking nothing. Obviously, from our top 10. Oh, you know what?
There's a lot out there, but
no, there isn't, because there's a lot of shit. I was like, I don't care. Okay, check it out. So Mandalorian season 2, why I rated that higher, and there's a lot of anime that came out that is, by far good and shit and whatever, is because season 2, when I rate things by seasons, I rate them on their own, not without the extra shit. So season 2 on its own works. If you didn't watch season 1, you can watch season 2 and have pretty good shit, if not more fun. I think I me personally, because season 2 on its own is good.
Yeah.
Now there's a lot of anime out there that came out, like Attack on Titan and all that, but you kind of need to watch the other shit for it to work. So it doesn't work on its own. There was Ray Zero, my favorite anime of this year, but it only works because I watched the other shit. So Mandalorian on its own is good. So for all you fucks out there, like, oh, there was all this anime that came out and blah blah blah. Bitch, that didn't matter because there was nothing out. It doesn't work on its own. You have to watch the other shit.
Like a new anime or something.
Yeah, you got to watch all the other shit first to make it work. And that's why Mandalorian 2 is on my list, because it's just that good. You could watch it on its own. It really is that good.
Something else. I mean, if it had been new, I would have put it on here. The 4K release of Ghost in the Shell. They took out the CG shit that they put in the early 2000s or whatever, and it's the cinematic. It's what they put out in theaters, but 4K and HDR.
Ghost in the Shell 1. It looks good for its time. However, they have this show called Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, but the 2 seasons make Ghost in the Shell. Throw that away. All the ideas in Ghost in the Shell, the movie, is revamped in the show, but done way better. Like all your themes. What is a soul? What is humanity? Can a robot be human? Things like that, like these little spider crab robots, they kind of pepper them in, and they sacrifice themselves. And that is what it is to be human. That kind of bullshit. It just does it better. Ghost in the Shell, the movie, is good if you don't watch all this other shit.
Well, I mean, I wanted to highlight it because it was, it looked awesome. It sounded
4K,
awesome.
yeah. It's a bygone era.
They went back. Yeah, it was it's one of those landmarks.
No, the music
started some of those questions too.
No, it's above par. The music is Yoko Kanno. She's the beautiful master of all music anime. She's the Hans Zimmer of anime. She makes this music, old ass Japanese. The anime itself is of a bygone era where they draw it. There's some CG, but
I want some Macross Plus, dude. I want that to get.
Oh yeah.
HD
Which one? Now the movie is one thing, but the show is the movie, but with more more scenes.
Both of them put together.
You might as well just say the show because it's 4 episodes, I think, but it's more, and it just fucking work. The movie works if you want a brief synopsis.
No, I don't like. Yeah, the movie moves some shit around. No, the show.
The show, yeah.
Yep, the show.
That would be beautiful to watch in 4K. The music,
Yeah.
Yoko Kanno, once again, she fucking destroys everything. She makes the music for Macross Plus. It's really good. Macross Plus and Ghost of Shout are really good in my legacy anime, but there's so much better shit now.
Oh yeah,
that recap, but of that time, that the way they drew things, like Akira. Oh,
I bought that in 4K.
I don't like the voice acting because I like the voice acting from back in the day.
I watched the Japanese one. The sound mixing in the Japanese one's way better, dude.
Of course it is. But that American voice, I want them to talk because it works better. But like the new voice actors, I hate.
It's Trigun.
No, I know, but that's not the voice actors that were in the beginning.
Yeah, those are the ones that I grew up with. I did watch maybe half of it. I watched the whole thing in Japanese. Then I watched about the middle half of it in the old 2.0 English dub. And I was like, damn, this is what they sounded like back when I first watched it on fucking sci-fi channel.
They get it better. I think the ones who spoke the English in the first iteration of the dub, they understand the characters better. And then the newer ones felt like we know this shit better than they do. I've heard both versions.
The translation is better. And there are some voices that I'm glad that they changed, but yeah, Canada's voice, the original one is better.
Of course it is. And like, let's be real, he's trying to be Vegeta. I mean, seriously, they made that character to be Vegeta. I mean, like, not Vegeta, but like a lot of things that he does, I was like, this is Vegeta, but whatever. That's such a good, you know what? If you ever read the manga, I think that the movie does it better. And I think if they did a movie, I hope they just keep it to one movie again. I
have an original print of the manga.
Oh, the manga?
I think it's book number 6, and I bought it. Back in 97.
The
manga. It's a picture. It's got Canada on the front, like writing at the viewer.
That's so fucking tight when he gets on that motorcycle. I play that song so loud when they're playing Neo Tokyo when they're driving up.
Well, the mix in Japanese is way better than the English one. It's just
Akira is so good, and it's like it has a lot of good themes, and it makes sense, right? Weak kid gets power, fucks it all up, right? I mean, duh, right?
Yeah, and like, why is it always they become good guys?
Yeah,
no, and then another guy gets the same power because of a bad guy.
Yeah,
he's just a power. He's the most powerful fucking thing, and that's it. There's no balance.
You ever seen Chronicle?
No, but yeah, that's the idea there too.
That's Akira right there.
There's another one, Blackburn or some shit like that, where a kid's got powers and he's killing people.
No, that's different. That's no. Okay. No, that's just stupid. No, but Akira and Chronicle, they share. That's what they were doing. You know what? The manga though is more of a. It's more realistic because it's more perverse. Like, I mean, yeah, weak kid who did. Yeah, well, weak kid didn't get pussy. What's he gonna do? Rape. I mean, that's why I don't like the comic. It's like a lot of like, of course he would do that, because when you watch the movie, of course he would do that. But in the comic, because they have more time, they fill it up with a lot of scenes of him doing some things, and I'm like, I don't like that.
Yeah, I think he becomes like a drug lord, right?
Yeah, I don't like when drugs and rape exist in my reality. I don't need that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, and well, yeah, a bit ago you said you did, but okay.
I like murder, not well. When Wonder Woman does drugs, I'm cool with that. But now she's blowing a dude, I'm not.
No, but Akira takes, you know, the main part of the story and squishes it down.
It makes it better. It just makes it better. It squishes all the themes and puts it together. A lot of people bitch and moan, and these are stupid nerds who don't get laid. They're like, oh, I wish they had the comic and they had these characters, these added characters. They're superfluous. All you need is the story you have in Akira the movie, and it works.
Yeah.
All the fucking themes you want. kid gets powers and abuses himself.
All the
with
parts
it.
that hit the hardest. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need to see him rape a kid. I don't need him to see him fucking do drugs. He does do drugs in the movie, though.
Yeah.
He does. He takes pills. He kills the dude. And he goes, "These are fucking great." That does happen. He's in the scene.
Doing that, but it's justified because of his pain, you know, and he's
that
you
too.
know, whatever.
And he goes, "I can see why you guys do this."
Right.
That's a good movie. Man, I feel like watching Akira. Well, anyways, hey, Happy New Year. Podcastforwe. You can find us on the Spotify. You can find us on SoundCloud, iTunes, all of that, wherever you like shit. We're gonna get clips one day. I don't know. and that's where we're at right now. Oh shit. Let me stop recording. As always, be the better person than you were yesterday or last year. And Happy New Year.